monastery was actually
all right. So Dell and I are here watching Ivan and Company go live.
He is experiencing
we're going to watch Dark Age of Man live on Ivan's channel. He's running our game with his buddies, Eloy, Jose, and Jim. And we'll make comments when appropriate. So let's sit back and watch and enjoy this.
I will be playing a scholar, wizardly character.
The screen share?
Excellent.
I might have to put it on
and
mute
Wolfhard
to
of
be able to see
Northwich. That's such a
oddly
familiar sounding name.
So it won't give feedback.
But anyhow, go on. Tell us about
so now I can shrink us down.
Wolfhard is a young Saxon warrior from the northeast
so cool.
England, from Northwich.
So I put us on the screen with them, so I can see us and them.
Some time ago down into Dredgewater.
Recording it. It's cool.
But you can't share the screen.
Right?
I can't, unfortunately. Can you not watch? Because you can just watch. Just make sure your sounds. Oh wait, yeah. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
Levy's going on right now, and professional soldier.
Excellent. Excellent. And then Jarek Smith.
I mean, I might be able to pull it up on mine.
Jarek Smith is a priest.
There we go. Yeah, screen share wants me to go live.
Introducing.
So if I hit screen share, it says, "Do you want to go live?"
I want to go with this.
I don't know why it's doing that.
Kind of a priest of.
I don't. It's so weird.
In many,
I don't want to go live.
Many religion. Many
so I've just got to.
His chosen is.
There we go. Now I've messed everything up.
Goodness, what would have been?
Did it screw it up, man?
No.
Apologies, guys.
I stink at this.
It's Catholicism in 7th
I was going to say, okay.
Or whatever it is.
Primary Catholicism
for
the time. And he's going around.
So I can hear them through your speakers, though, Dell.
A family of
Yep.
blacksmiths.
So I need to pause it.
But stepped away from that.
So I'm picking up your. So if you mute your side, I won't hear them.
Helping where
there you go.
help is needed.
Right on. And interestingly, in this setting too, it's kind of like early Christianity. There's still all kinds of all the old folk beliefs are still, still present as well.
That's where I was getting kind of stuck. So I apologize.
No, that's right on. Right on. It's kind of a sparse setting, but that's the basic feel I get from the text. And so, you're probably not going to get Wolfhard burned at the stake as much as Brother Dunstan would, based on, because, I mean, if you're just going to openly use sorcery, it is a good chance, even if the people aren't Christian, they might be a little bit, freaked out and scared. You know how superstitious people are.
Mm-hmm.
All that sort of stuff. So why do you three fellas know each other? Like, why are you working together? Because you're going to get approached by Sheriff Bassel, who wants you to do something.
I feel like there is a punchline here.
No, that's
soldier,
a priest,
soldier, a scholar, and a priest walk into a bar.
And they say, "Ouch."
Yep.
I'd say that at least it sounds like Dunstan and Wolfhard aren't necessarily from this village. So they could have met at one of the taverns and struck up a friendship, as some of the these villages people. Most people are kind of strangers, but maybe Brother Jarek, because of his Christian faith, would have welcomed them.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, Wolfhard will go to church on Sunday.
Nice.
He is a Christian.
Nice.
So we maybe met on the road, right? So we're traveling companions, and and so.
Or the two strangers in the town tavern. It's natural they would have.
Yeah, the Black Leaf Tavern or the Golden Leaf Inn. One of those two things. All right, sounds good. You good with that? Feeling all right? All right, cool. And we're going to be stopping a lot to talk about mechanics every once in a while because we're all new to this game, and I appear to be new to this iPad. Wait a minute. Let me get this. I'm trying to close one document, get another one because I don't have a printer at my house, so I'm doing all this stuff on this other iPad. All right, cool. So, what I need to do also is roll 3d6 at this point because I need to consult my random chart here. There is an inciting incident.
The naive narrator.
But this will give me like a little bit more information about this inciting incident, and I have created my random table here. The other thing worth mentioning is that you guys have attributes called body, mind, and spirit, prestige, and luck. And so these are the actual characteristics we'll look at. There's actually also purse and inventory, how many things you can carry, and then your combat stat. But you guys are, for the most part, going to be rolling d12s all the time. And I'm going to be rolling these 3d6 every once in a while, and when appropriate, to get something. There you go. To give me some more information about what happens. But essentially, it had been called by Sheriff Bassel, approaching Lake Wolford and company, because there's been a few families and their livestock have been killed recently. The bodies, the livestock has been really savage. Now, he's coming up to tell you, like, I need you to find and kill this wolf, in the tavern. And, there's already, at least one person that's just saying, ain't no wolf did that. I'm seeing the bodies. But
this is our inciting incident.
Here, holy mackerel. I thought for a second I rolled an 18. That would have been horrible.
18, right. Game
right.
over.
And actually, what we hear at this point is, over at the Child's farm, like the cattle have all been slaughtered. I mean, just brutally. The Childs are still alive, but they went out into their pasture this morning, and the cattle have just been absolutely mangled, not eaten, but slaughtered.
The Dane Raiders were going to have slaughtered cattle and not taken in, and they took nothing else from the farm. It was just the cattle that were attacked.
That's what I heard. I haven't been out there yet, but I figured I'd send you over there. Maybe you can find something out. I got too many other things to look after over here to be chasing down some damn wolves.
Wolford wants to blame the Danes already. Love it. Love it.
Very strange. Wild animals would have eaten.
What creature of God would create this? No.
Sometimes
the wolf eats to eat.
Could be a mad wolf. Could be a mad wolf.
Well, a lone wolf that loses its mate, it can go mad. And sometimes they kill for pleasure. Those are the ones we need to put down.
Well then.
Whatever it is, the populace is getting scared. People are starting to point fingers at each other. It's crazy people talking of sorcery, all this kind of stuff. Apparently Sheriff Bassel is from Ireland originally. as his accent comes out.
Irish.
We can't have that.
I don't know, Palmero's already pointing fingers this one and that one, talking about sorcery, talking about old fey ties, all this kind of nonsense. Mm-hmm. Just go find the wolf.
Sweet.
Kill it, bring it back here.
Soren,
whatever it is.
The inciting incident sounds like a killer.
Bear or whatever it is.
But that might have been his first RSC. Don't know yet. But I think you rolled an RSC separate from this.
I, for one, am intrigued. Certainly come along. Shall we?
I elbow Derek. Maybe they're just not saying their prayers.
You are quite literally preaching to the choir, Brother Wolford.
Prayers alone will not save you from death.
Oh, Brother Dunstan, ye of little faith.
Brother Dunstan's a -1 spirit, so it ain't just little faith. It's like no faith at all.
Tell it to my abbot and the rest of my brethren.
I happen to know his scores.
Let us go see this.
Indeed.
Field.
Brother Dunstan is like straight man of nature, man of magic, man of science.
Up in Northwood area. It's not. It's kind of adjacent to the Northwood. And in this area, I mean, pretty much they're very creative with the names of the woods that kind of surround the areas. There's Northwood, Eastwood, Westwood. Then there's a river that's south. They're not terribly creative. These are simple people.
Hey, at least they're clear.
So it takes a while to get to, you don't have any horses or anything like that. So just, a trek down some lanes, and, you get some basic directions to the child's farm homestead, where basically about where it is. And it just abuts right up against Northwood. And as you finally are getting, you're across a bit of a hill, such as it is in this terrain, and it's like late spring, and you can see already like what looks like the cows might be lying down, but they're on their backs or on their sides, which is rather unusual to see that many. And the closer you get as you walk, you come upon a head. It's just a cow's head.
A cow's head. That was going to be my question.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a cow's head. It's a cow's head.
Okay, I'm going to take a look to see if I can tell whether it was removed with something like an axe, or does it look like it was like claws. Take a look at these at the ruined beef. See if I can get an idea of what attacked them.
Let's see. Do we call this a task? Should you roll for this?
I believe so.
Let's see.
You can do a mind check to investigate. Yes.
All right.
And we'll call it an idea roll.
And I can use mind for this, right? Because I'm
right. Yeah, mind roll.
Look at that. They got it. So simple.
All right, 11 total.
Okay, fantastic. This is not taken off with an axe. You as an experienced huntsman, you've seen animals ravaged by their other animals. You've seen, animals that are slaughtered.
Mm-hmm.
This looks like none of these. This really looks like this head was like yanked off the cow's body.
Holy shit!
Like you can see that there's like
this is an RFC.
the skin where it's been stretched and where it's been torn, and where there's parts of the sinew and what that are like as if you like tearing apart a joint or something like that.
Oh,
but a raw one. So it's just the tears are very uneven. There's a part of the cow's vertebrae past the neck that have like come out as well. But it appears to have just been torn off the body, like you might tear off. I'm trying to think what you'd be tearing off, and that much for us.
This was no wolf, friends. Nothing. This was no wolf. I'm gonna take a look around for tracks. If you want to start talking to the farmer, see what they heard.
Yes. See if there's only one beast, or if this is a pack.
ooh, oh no.
Gotcha. All right. Wolford, you can give me a roll for the. It's going to be a moderate. That was a 7.
Nice.
Tracks.
He's using the terms, which is cool, instead of numbers.
And in the meantime, if you two want to go talk to the farmers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure. It's taken a while. It's taken a while to like really look around it.
Yeah, it's gonna take me a while to look at all the signs. I'm gonna start, from the outside going in,
Right.
see
Right.
anybody approaching. It doesn't look like a wolf to me. But.
Okay. Okay, the child's family. The father is is a little bit on the older side. Is like got to be in his early 40s.
Old.
Yeah. And life brief, brutish, and nasty. And somewhat younger wife, a few young children, like a teenage son. They all look pretty shook up.
God, I bet.
And the father, Willem, is seems to be rather upset about like the loss of the cattle as well.
It's got to be pagans.
But sir, we've been sent
I don't know, man. What did he roll on that RSC? He's got me wondering.
I don't know. Well, the inciting incident sounded like
saw anything, or perhaps
sounded like the cattle thing. But then he rolled the RSC after he said that.
This carnage.
So
yeah,
didn't see nothing.
He's tying whatever's on the RSC directly to the cattle mutilation. Or
I
cattle
heard
problem,
last night
I think.
around, I don't know,
yeah, that's what it feels to me.
late, past midnight. It was a horrible.
Or
sound.
he used
The
his
cattle
first
screaming
RSC
and
as the
everything.
inciting
He
incident,
went to go out
which you
there
could certainly
and
do.
grab
Yeah.
I mean, all you need is something for them to.
and your wife
sink their
stopped
teeth
and shit.
into.
It was
Take
too
'em off.
horrible. So I looked out
Like
to
a
see what I
cow.
could see, but they couldn't see nothing. But I heard the terrible screaming and carrying on. Enough to frighten us all to death. The children were crying, screaming, tried to keep them quiet.
No wolf howls. Did you see some manner of beast upon the cattle? A large bear, perhaps.
I saw shadows. I don't know if it was the cows or what it was.
No howling at the moon.
I know.
Brother Dunstan's putting that +3 mind to good work right now.
Let's see. And
You
no
said
one was hurt
the
in
wife
the
and
house.
kids are still pretty disturbed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna if you don't mind, sir, I'll take care of the missus and the children. We'll go off.
Jim's a priest.
And maybe I'll make a cup of tea, maybe to help calm their nerves. If that's all right with you, sir.
Nice.
Good.
That's a spirit check right there.
Maybe a prestige roll.
Oh, prestige. That's cool. That's
A
good.
social task.
Yeah.
And we'll just go average.
Nice. He's laying that priest
4.
prestige upon the family.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
not looking terribly. He's like, what do you mean?
Nice interpretation.
My wife and children, I could look after my own.
No ill will intended, my friend. Just trying to help and serve. If you would feel much comfortable them here, I would not. I will not press further.
I don't know what I'm going to do about these cattle. If you can make more cattle up here out of thin air, that would be more helpful.
I will certainly pray for it, my friend.
Got a lot of good prayers will do us.
Yeah.
So he seemed fairly distraught. Something about something about you.
Well, this is a lot of wealth for a farmer, right? Losing all these cows. This is
Oh yeah.
Yeah, huge.
huge.
Yeah. Yeah, the Lord ain't going to be happy
In the
about all these
meantime,
cattle
what you're
being
finding
lost.
are some signs.
You know what I mean? Lord
Lord
Washburn. Those are Lord Washburn's cattle, right? This guy just manages them.
He's a steward.
So there's a lot of the ground that's been disturbed. There's nothing that looks like a wolf track or
The Lord owns all of them, including the
or
cattle.
something like that.
Right?
There are some smudged, large tracks that you really can't identify. But they do seem to take off into Norfolk.
Ooh.
And, as you get farther and farther away from the epicenter of the carnage, it appears that whatever it was made its way into the wood.
Sweet.
And it's tracks like I've never seen before, right?
Yeah, they're just hard to identify. They're really rather smudged. Like they're not really very distinct.
Yeah.
They're big.
Uh-oh.
They're a little uneven. Like you're used to, how the typical tracks that animals make, and these are just a little odd. They're just, not regular.
So whenever I'm done, I guess I join these guys at the house. And say,
So I see you approach. I step out of the house. I don't wish the farmer to hear our conversation. Friend Wolfhard, what have you found? One beast or many?
I motioned them away from the house. I said, it looks to be, I only found one set of tracks that do not belong to these farmers. It's no wolf, it's no bear, It's, I don't know what it is, but it's big.
But it seems to be one then. No loose teeth, no loose hair, no sign of a beast other than the tracks.
Yes, and it was a mess. The tracks are odd. They're not even. I don't know if it was carrying something away, but something large enough to carry a cow.
Ooh.
Dang.
Well, I can't help but think we had our village blacksmith in Northwich. He, forgive me, Father Jack, but he was a pagan, and he used to winter nights tell tales of trolls and giants.
Oh shit! Awesome.
I don't know why I think of that.
Awesome.
And you follow these tracks.
Yes, they head north.
Back to Wolfred's home country.
We're not seriously considering
Northwich.
following this unholy beast.
Well, I don't know what it is, but we won't get paid if we don't follow it and bring it down. And you have to come, Father. What if it's some hellspawn? Who's going to protect us?
You make a good point, Brother Wilfred. Wilfred.
You gotta have your priest, man. I mean, it is them times.
Let us set off then.
Nice.
Daylight is wasting.
Jim always seemed to be in character in all the games we played.
Let
You
me
know what I
bless
mean?
this house first.
Oh yeah.
So
This
I don't know what it is, but Jim
step
always
off
seemed
and
to
do a
be
ritual.
character
A
focused.
ritual.
But
Ooh.
yes, I will do a ritual
Oh, excellent.
that protects the house.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I know. I was wondering where he's getting his mind.
Right?
That's sweet.
And this one, I'm not going to give you the difficulty because how could you know if it worked?
That's it. That's
I
brilliant.
have faith.
That's brilliant. What a
Of
great.
course it
That's
works, no
something
matter
I
what.
have not done in all of my 3 years. Not allowing them to know whether it works or not. That's brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a great effect.
Feel that
He
God
wouldn't
is
know
smiling.
until they come back whether the family's been,
All right.
Yeah.
So daylight is in fact burning.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
And Wolford is able to follow the tracks into the wood. Northwood starts to get rather dark and deep
This is fun.
fast.
It's kind of like Mystery Science Theater, except we're not making jokes,
It's
right?
not. It doesn't seem unnaturally quiet. It would seem to be
Watching our
normal
friends play our game, so cool.
As far as
Yeah.
the behavior of the animals, that sort of thing.
It's
I'd like you to give me a
And they don't know we're
luck
here.
roll,
I mean, they
Wolford.
may know we're here, but
Some luck roll.
Yeah.
That's a 5.
I'm sorry?
5.
5.
It's a 5. Okay. Easy. That'd be succeeded a fair task, and this was not fair. Sorry, this was a hard task.
nice.
Life isn't fair.
No, it's not.
Not to those cattle,
There's a
it
point.
wasn't.
Despite your
Those
skill,
cattle, those
Life
cattle
isn't
got
fair.
screwed pretty bad by life.
that you realize you've lost the trail for this creature, and it just sort of like in one moment you had it. It's obviously something big was moving, brush, and then it's like it's gone.
Ooh. As if it took flight.
Rodents. I mean, Christ's blood.
Dang. I didn't want to say that
It's
earlier.
like it disappeared.
You roll.
What?
I can see no further sign. No broken branches like we were seeing back there.
Perhaps you just lost your way, brother.
But if that is
Must
the
have
case,
missed a turn.
I lost my way a long time
Perfect.
ago, Father. I lost cause, but I don't just lose a trail.
yeah,
You're
leaves
saying
that trail,
it
and
just
if he did roll what I think he rolled,
Disappear.
makes total sense.
Yeah.
Here's the track.
Or
You just fell
perhaps
that
it
trail.
turned into a
This is
foul
what happened.
and
Yeah.
took flight.
I'm afraid
Oh,
our heroes, our
no,
protagonists
no,
are hunting
no,
a
no.
dragon, is what I'm afraid, or a wyvern
Oh
or
my
something.
goodness, I was
Yeah. Who knows?
being facetious, brother. No such things can exist on this planet.
And still no sign of this creature, no hair, no blood,
No feather.
nothing to lead us. No feathers. Who knows what manner of beast this is?
Wonder if it could climb a tree.
Supposed to be a wild wolf.
Well, there are several like very old oaks in this forest.
Maybe it set an ambuscade for us up there. Ambuscade? I don't know. Like, I'm guessing we haven't been invaded by the Normans yet, so I should just say ambush.
So, as he's looking for that, I approach one of the oaks near where the trail was lost, and I sort of lean into it, and I lay my hand on it.
Ooh, sweet.
And I whispered some strange variation of Latin.
I love it.
And I say, Corazón de roble, espíritu de árbol, despierta.
Holy shit.
Encuentra tu voz y dime que viste. So I am trying to get the spirit of the oak to tell me what he saw.
Oh, dude, that's perfect. That's a druid. Straight up
excellent.
druid.
All right.
So you can't do that shit in D&D, right? Without a spell. He's talking to the trees, man.
Yes, that's the best you're going to get from me, man.
That's
pretty good.
That is awesome.
All right, let's say
awesome. It's what we envision for players when they
it's moderate.
play this game.
7.
Express your magic, right?
Ooh,
11.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Nice.
Excellent.
Holy shit.
Excellent. So as you know, you say the words. You're leaning in, trying to awaken the spirit.
Still prays, Father. Still pray.
And the bark of the tree, after a while, starts to move just a little bit, and form like it. There was a part like right where you were, almost was sort of like a facsimile of a face if you squint really hard.
Wow.
But this really just kind of comes into.
Well, that was interesting. Ivan's interpretation.
Yeah.
As Jarek's observing this, he closes his eyes and grabs his cross. And just starts praying.
Start crossing yourself.
Ignoring what's happening.
Right.
Derek?
That's like a Rain Man moment. Oh no. Oh no.
Be able to. It's not good.
Witchcraft.
It's like, so there's like an old man in the woods. What do you seek?
Some manner of creature passed this way recently. A large beast, possibly covered in blood from the slaughter it caused. We have lost the track.
There you go.
Where is it? Where did it go?
Players lead.
Oh, the blood-spattered one that you seek him. He does not belong here.
Ooh.
A creature of the Fae he is. Torn from his realm.
Holy shit.
Brought here. Against his will, I think. Perhaps lost. Angry he is.
Where
Jim's
did he
eyes
go?
going everywhere.
We cross over into the spirit world from here.
Into the spirit world. He continued past me. He came from the south. Then bore east. I saw him no more after that. He does not belong here. Only ill can come from this.
I think
He bears your kind great malice.
Thank you for your words. Rest easy, Oakheart.
Perfect use of the system. Fucking awesome.
Come back in the bark, just kind of goes back to the way it was.
Perfect. I mean, he envisions his magic, approaches it, does what he wants, player agency.
Creature he was talking about?
Ivan Bang gives him positive result
Some
based
sort
on
of
that
fate.
11.
By the gods, that tree spoke.
Right now, the priest is thinking there might be more to this world than
you would believe.
right. It is a miracle.
Well, I am glad I came upon you two. You are in much need.
You believe in burning bushes and not in talking trees?
Right. That's awesome. It's fun to see people do our game maybe better than us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
They might be doing this better than us, man.
I know. I'm taking
Won't be
notes.
long, that's for sure.
Love it.
It seems to be a creature of the Fae. So iron, cold iron, will be its bane.
Ooh. See, that's an example there of agency where he says that as a GM.
Wolford is,
that would become lore. Cold iron will be its bane, right?
His hair short, like Saxon soldiers.
I would take what he said literally.
And he has crappy
folded in,
his clothing's so patchy. He has this chain shirt that's been mended so many times. It's half leather by now. But his shield is stout, and he draws his sword, and you guys can tell it's a Viking sword, and very well made. So not like a king's sword, but high quality. This is made of iron.
Yeah.
It should hurt if you say it's true.
Hopefully it will avail us.
Jared grabs his cross a little tighter, as it is a cross made of iron.
Sweet. We got a priest, a druid, and a warrior. Fantastic.
Polished iron. But iron nonetheless.
All right. Excellent. So what do you do at this point? You spent probably another
So I'd love to know if Ivan's rolled more than one RSC yet.
Through the woods.
Right?
At this point, before losing the track.
Is Wolfherd able to reacquire the track?
I mean, this is pretty intense. You don't necessarily need another one, right? I mean, they're on to something pretty intense.
Well, let's see.
Yeah.
Can you reacquire the track? Let's go with another.
See, this is where I would lower the DV.
Mind roll.
For whatever it was, I would lower it.
Pretty hard.
Because Brother Dunskin's talked to the tree and it's given him direction.
I want to call this.
Right? So I would lower that DV a bit. That's what I would have done here.
Okay. All right. Let's see. 10 on the die plus 1 mind.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
Okay. I was waiting for the critical failure where you guys can't find your way back home. So,
if I had put all my points on
critical failure is the creature shows up while they're fucking around at this tree. That's critical failure, right? Well, he's talking to the tree, and the priest is crossing. The fucking creature shows up. That's critical failure.
Probably a good half mile before all of a sudden you pick up. Like here is there's sign of something that if you look behind you, wasn't there. Like, where did this come from? But then, boom, the track is heading, and it seems to head east and then hook south. Can you continue to follow the trail? It pops out, not near the child's farm, but further down, further east in Northwood, not quite to Eastwood, and then. It gets harder to follow once it gets into more of the grassy area, but it seems to be going back towards town.
He wants beer. Going eastbound and down.
He wants beer.
All right. So this is not a good sign. If it is a monster,
I love how he utilizes that magic.
Yeah, it's so good. Magic's the one thing that I appreciate, but most games fuck it up. And I wanted our game, the DV keeps you honest as to how far you go with your magic.
Make haste, then.
Alrighty. You're able to get back on a trail, one of the many roads that go into Dredgewater.
Old Roman trails.
And you're almost at the village. When you hear cries of distress from a young woman.
RSC.
And she's standing by the road.
Yeah.
And as you get closer, you realize she's standing over
The world is alive. While they're tracking something, the world is alive around them.
And the person is wearing robes.
But there's a woman next to him?
Yeah, there's a woman just screaming in hysterics.
Oh, okay. Let us see if this man is injured.
as you get closer, you can see that it is in fact the local vicar, Father Falcone. And she's screaming her head off.
Oh, dang.
And
Falcone's been
he's
through
a
some
bit
hell on
bloody,
these sessions.
but he's moving.
Yeah, poor Falcone, right?
Glass, quiet down. What happened?
I don't know. I found her just like this. I was bringing, kindling wood back for the fire, and I saw the father just here, like laying down in a pool of blood. I thought he was dead.
Oh,
He's dead for sure.
Oh, man.
I'll rush to his side and start inspecting the body for something and try and talk to him, see if he's...
Deliver last rites over his corpse, huh?
He's conscious. He's in a lot of pain.
Okay.
You can tell.
Can we identify the source of the pain?
Yeah, he's got what looks like it might be a broken leg.
Mm-hmm.
He's also got some lacerations and some scrapes on him. Not real deep lacerations, but he's definitely banged up quite a bit.
What happened, Father? What has befallen you?
I don't know. I was on my way to pick up some eggs from the Widow Douglas, and something huge just bowled me right over. It was like getting hit by a runaway ox cart.
Oh shit! They may have found their creature again.
Could barely see it, but it was enormous.
Wolfhard.
It just tossed me aside like a rag doll.
You can barely see it. In what way, Vicar?
It was huge. At one moment, I saw just a huge black shape, and then it wasn't even there.
Oh shit!
Oh.
So seeing the pain, I'd like to try and maybe heal a little bit with my spirit.
Okay.
And some prayer.
All right.
Nice.
So you can at least ease his pain.
And that is indeed what spirit is used for.
I back away while he does that.
Yeah, right. The druid.
All right. Let's see. So, yeah, give me a spirit roll.
10.
And 10.
10.
Oh, no. Oh. You can see like
miracles
the peace
going
of
on.
God comes across his visage.
Mm-hmm.
He starts to breathe easier. He says, "Thank you, lad. You might have a place in our parish. Please, I beg you, bring me back there."
Is it getting dark now?
It's starting to get like it's sort of like near the end of the day.
So I stand a little further back so that hopefully they're focused on Father Smith's prayer and healing.
Uh-oh.
And they're paying less attention to me.
Oh, crap. He's winding up for something.
And I glance up at the rising moon above the horizon. And I touch my eyes like this as I look at the moon. And I say, Hécate, diosa de la luna.
Dude, I knew Eloy would kill the magic user in this. Just kick it. Just kill it.
Muéstrame el más allá.
I haven't eaten it up.
And so I am trying to open my
We wanted to free players up, man, and there it is right there.
What is hidden.
What he visions for himself as a magic
or see traces of magic.
It's fucking awesome. Like and he steps away from everybody, so again, superstitious, ignorant people don't see him easily do it, right?
Right. Cool.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
And we're gonna call that tough. Call that 9.
Tough. It's very tough.
Oh shit! Critical fail.
It's extremely tough.
Oh no!
Wow.
His eyes bleed blood.
Okay, what happens? What
a little wench, a little peasant wench passing, sees the witch. Witch!
They are lost souls, Vicar. I'm trying.
Oh, so, brother, I heard you were a man of cloth at one time. What kind of deviltry is this? This black magic? You're calling this foul creature back to come and finish the job?
No.
Is that it?
Trying
The
to
cat's out of the
Oh
bag.
my God!
So much for that invitation to come back to the parish in Dredgewater. That's gone now, man.
I learned. Oh.
All right, that invitation is now revoked.
Whatever struck you may still be around.
Nice.
Your prayers seem not to
One
have
just
helped.
sitting.
Because, of course, I'm not into this whole religion anymore.
I pray to the one true
let's
God.
lean
Pray
into
to the
this.
one true God.
Let's lean into this failure.
He means well.
Lean into this bag.
I have taken it upon
We don't just
myself
fell
to
forward; we lean into failing
help
forward.
him find his path again.
Critical fell forward.
Hammer me.
What you roller what?
Father Smith the
Gareth
Unlucky.
the Unlucky. That's correct.
7.
7.
Oh,
The total.
it's not
Total 7.
bad.
Total 7.
Nice.
Not
Okay,
bad.
That's not
This is
bad.
not good enough. He's still pretty ticked off, you know. I'll get my way back to the parish myself. I don't want your help, devil worshiper.
Listen, we need to do something before that thing hurts anyone else.
He called the priest a devil worshiper.
Can you pick up its trail?
Help the vicar to his home.
It's awesome.
So she's definitely helping the vicar stand back up. Sort of giving you guys kind of like looking at you guys a little cross-eyed now, especially Brother Dunstan.
Awesome.
May you get back safe and well, and Vicar heal soon. Pay no mind to some of the things that your feverish brain may have seen or thought you heard.
You are concussed,
Gonna leave it at that.
Father Falcone.
So it's tough.
You have
to
had a
really
lump on the
follow
head.
that trail now. As you're rather close to the village, you hear a commotion, and several people are gathered around
Uh-oh.
one man at this point.
Another RSC,
And there's
maybe?
a lot of excited talking. And the sheriff, comes out to see what's going on. And, you can see like many of the village men at this point are all gathered about maybe like a quarter mile away, if that. But quite a bit of talking and hand waving and everything, brought on by a random 3d6 roll.
Yeah, RSC. There it is. Nice.
Alrighty. And in the middle of
Things
a group
get
of
more
men,
complicated
there's
now.
15 men. This one young fellow who you recognize is Bill Stevens, and he's youngish. He's probably 18, 19 years old. So in his prime. But he's like, I tell you, I seen it over in Eastwood. It was bigger than anything, bigger than a barn. All the trees, all the grass matted down.
Oh, shit.
A couple of trees knocked down under a rock overhang. There was awful signs of. There was sign, but it's huge. Nothing could have made it past something like that. And I saw bones, human bones, cow bones, human bones. I tell you, whatever's there, it ain't no wolf. It's huge. And it's living right out there in the woods, ready to prey on us and kill us all one by one. One homestead after another. The sheriff is like, that's ridiculous. Well, you been drinking? No, I haven't been drinking. I tell you, it ain't no wolf.
He's got Basil down. Basil's a lazy ass.
Something that lives over there has got to be huge.
The hardest working sheriff in all of Dredgewater.
Over in Eastwood. I can show
Never
you.
does a thing.
It's enormous.
And did you see this creature?
I didn't see nothing. It smelled terrible, but I didn't see nothing. No creature, nothing. I got out of there. I'll bring it to close to where it is and point you away, but I'm not going all the way back there.
You said
Back to my desk.
If you can't describe it, how can you claim to see it?
I didn't see a creature. I saw where it must live.
Ah. Nice.
Nothing lives in something like that.
It's lair.
Is it a cave?
It's lair.
Oh, it's under a rock overhang. But then everything over there is just knocked down around and tramped. Look, something big has been there a lot. And no bear, and no wolf.
You should point us to this place.
I'll take it there. A couple other, gentlemen.
I'd
go, but I got to protect the
near
family.
me, I'd be like, yeah, what that?
There's several different men telling you like what they would do if they didn't have other responsibilities.
Ivan needs
But
to
the end,
do Welsh,
only you guys
completely
following those
unrecognizable, ununderstandable
and lead you
Welsh
out
accent.
of Dredgewater into the Eastwood. And it's getting dark. And it's finally like, it's a full moon, which helps.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you, it's in there. Just follow this.
That's why
Just
Brother
look at this
Dunstan
path. At this
had
point,
that
it's
critical
a little easier
fail.
to see
So
once
it's a
you're in
full
the woods.
moon.
I'll tell you, it's about a mile up that way, right where the ledge starts. You go straight, and you see that tree right there. You keep it. Line those two trees up. You can't miss it. But I tell you, go there, you might not come back.
Jeez.
Why would we not come
Fair
back,
warning.
brother, friend, if we cannot see it?
I know there's something horrible there.
Thank you.
I'm leaving.
I think you've, as advised by the sheriff, may have had one too many to drink, my friend. Please head back to the village, and we will know that God is with you. We will take care of it from here. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love
He
it
turns.
because Father Jarek's like Men in Black for the Christian Church.
Yeah, right, right.
Yes, I'm pretty
Right.
sure the Catholic Church has no problem with gaslighting
Right.
anybody.
That's right. That's right.
As a whole, in that time, not making any religious or political statements of any kind.
Right.
Right.
Oh, I understand. So, shall we? Right. Let's follow this trail.
Indeed.
We need torches to see by.
Not yet.
Do we need? Well, since
got
it's
a
a
full
full
moon.
moon, right?
Let us use the light of the moon for now.
The
bro.
Lord has blessed us with a beautiful evening light from the moon.
We don't want to let this monster know we're coming until maybe we can ambush it.
Let's see if the light of the moon is going to be enough for you fellas. So who
Nice,
wants to take
nice.
this luck roll?
There
Let's-
we go. Luck roll.
You know-
Beautiful.
Brother
can do
Dunstan, you talk to the moon.
There we go.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
She's not listening tonight, but hey,
Love it.
Lunatic.
It's a great way to use luck.
there
Right
you
there.
go.
Whoa.
She heard me.
Well, there you go.
Dang,
Right.
what's
It
up?
took a while.
All right.
Why did we?
That,
Why did we choose the D12? Because there will be
Yeah,
critical
good ask her.
failures
Yeah.
and critical successes a little
What
more.
does it say? What does it say about critical successes on like regular
Oh,
rolls?
special effect defined by player.
Yeah.
So I think yes.
Yes.
I think the goddess of the moon heard me, and so the light is going to be sufficient to shine. To show us, to allow us not to need torches, and
Right.
furthermore, I think it's going to illuminate the path.
Yep. Critical.
Toward
It's a
this
critical
creature.
success. So it should
It shines off the bones of its victims.
is where we can. Bingo, man. It's
Excellent.
where we can
So,
take
yeah, it's
agency
just
here,
one
right?
of those spectacular nights. The air is ridiculously clear, and so
Good.
it's almost it's beautiful. The dappled moonlight in the forest
Sorry.
as you're heading towards eventually. Maybe you're about 50 yards away or so, and you can start to see what Stevens was talking
As they say,
about. There's
the
a
bones
rock
of its
here,
victims are
open,
lit,
Right.
are
there's
illuminating
a
the
bunch of
path.
trees which clearly have been like pushed over, and some of it's like leaning
The path is lit
on their sides.
by the bones of its
And
victims.
you can see
The
already
bleached
that
bones.
the earth is more matted.
Right. I love it.
Any kind of plant life has completely been tramped down.
I think they got it. Right.
Yeah.
And
It's intuitive.
at
Works.
one point, you pass something like your feet hit it first, and you kind of see the glint, and it's a jawbone, and it's a human jawbone.
Oh.
And the bones look like they've been gnawed on.
I'm starting to get flashes of bone tomahawk here.
Do they look like
Dale.
they've been cooked, or was he eating them raw?
It looks. I mean, it doesn't look like
Lord,
it's cooked or anything.
As they hunt.
Don't
as
watch
they
that
hunt,
with your family.
Yeah,
I learned that lesson.
Sounds
Bone
like it
tomahawk.
kills cattle for fun.
except it's a creature, not cannibals.
But eats
Native American
man
cannibals.
flesh.
Oh, spoiler.
I look around for a branch, like a dead, dry branch of wood, like I would use for a torch, right? Something big, or a club and I grab one of those pieces of wood and carry it with me now.
Gotcha.
And
Good.
so it's not a cave. It's just like an overhang with some trees for added shelter.
Right. Yep.
Over trees for added shelter. And right now we don't see anything in there, or is it too dark for us to?
No, you don't see anything in there.
And it stinks to high heaven, like the kid said.
Yeah.
Gotta find a good
I take umbrage with that reference.
What?
Jim's in character, man. I take umbrage with that remark.
I
love it.
So
Jim's in character, man.
Kind of good place
Yeah.
to ambush
Yeah,
you
he's
when
good
it
about
comes
that.
back. It sounds like it may be nocturnal, hunts at night, like many beasts. So maybe when it comes back in the morning, sated, you'll be able to catch it off guard. Maybe we can hide under some branches or leaves.
That is Phil.
Like it by surprise when it comes in.
Good thought.
Hide under its bones, the bones of its
All right.
deceased.
So there's
Carcasses.
a clearing in front of
Carcasses.
its den, is what we're saying.
Dun,
And its
dun.
den seems to be empty, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
So I would love to know how
sounds
Ivan
like a good
decided that,
plan.
right?
Let's
As
see
a
if I
naive
can
narrator,
add
I would love to know
to
how
it.
he decided that.
And so,
Yeah.
with the
I
aid
told
of
him I'd
the
like to hear
branch,
his,
I start
I didn't.
scratching into the earth
Cover
in
his
a
toes.
wide circle, a
Oh, geez,
large
he's doing a spell.
circle on the ground, and carving some mystical symbols along it,
Putting up a ward.
hoping
Right.
that once the creature comes in here, I can
Strip it.
activate a magical circle and trap it within the circle.
Damn.
Absolutely. Well, why don't you give me a roll
That's
now?
perfect,
Let me
man.
know
I'm
what it
telling
is.
you, this is
And
how the
we'll
magic
figure it
system
out
is
later.
designed to work.
Yeah.
My mind is
That's
3.
what I told him.
He's
in
not
case
limited
it's a spell.
by spells and things. He's limited
And
by
3
use
plus 7
of
would be 10, but it's a 7 on the die. You decide.
Excellent.
and
Excellent.
how crazy it gets would dictate the DV.
So I'm not
Right.
closing the spell until he
Yeah.
comes in.
That's
right,
awesome
and
as
then
hell.
I hope
I
to
mean, it
finish
is-
the spell and see if I can lock him inside this.
That's exactly what I thought
Okay.
Eloy
I
would
was thinking
do
he was
with our
gonna-
magic
Okay.
system.
You know.
So it takes you a while to do that,
That's what me. If I was playing, I would have
but
set
you
a
feel
ward.
like it's,
Yep.
it's
And maybe that
looking
might be
good.
a lesser DV. That, you know.
It's
Right.
you guys are able to find places you can sort of hide as long as
So the magic
as
can
long
be
as you're
evident
emotional. If you feel like you probably
as often as it
should be okay.
expresses itself through your character, right?
About an hour or two go by, and you hear all of a sudden wolf cries,
Uh-oh.
and a wolf like sprints like out of nowhere and just like zips right through that whole clearing.
Uh-oh. The priest
Carefully
just
close because there's wolves.
the priest just prayed himself
The
away.
wolf zips through the clearing, really kind of freaking you out. Like
He takes the priest with him.
and it just keeps going.
You two
Right now.
turn around and see the priest running.
About 30 seconds
For
later,
the hills.
another one goes, and they're running at like the top, as fast as they possibly can. It runs right past you.
Oh, something spooked the wolves. What would make a pack of wolves
It must
run?
be coming, Wolfred. Be ready to
a pack too, not a single.
No, right.
delay it or lure
Pack
it
of wolves
into the circle. It will close the circle when he is inside. And it should hold just him, supernatural creature of the Fae. Just make sure not to disturb the circle when you exit. It will not hold you.
Yeah, I forgot about the Fae aspect.
Yeah, and Eloy, using player agency, is defining.
You can hear and feel this like thud.
The use and the limitations of it. Right?
Yeah.
He has the
You hear
agency
like
to
that
define what it can do.
cry. And then a wolf sails through the air, whacks right into the rocky outcropping, and then boom, hits the ground and is still.
Wow.
Dang, it's through though.
And another wolf.
Whatever it was, just do it.
Yeah.
Two things happen at once. Another wolf zips through, zips past you, but you hear more wolf cries, but they're coming from about 20 feet up.
Wow.
And the wolf sounds like it's in terror or pain.
Oh,
wow.
Jeez.
20 feet up?
20 feet up.
Must be flying with a wolf in its mouth.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll look in that direction, see what I can see.
It's a beautiful night. The moon is so bright. And you see, you see in one of the trees this shape. It's really hard to look at. And it's got a wolf in one hand, and it's got at least another two hands on the tree.
Oh,
Jim, like what?
2 hands? Came back just in time, Jim. Wolf in one hand.
It has this
other hands on the trees.
That just seems to go on forever, and far too many teeth.
Oh shit!
And the teeth go far too far back. Far back in the mouth.
Damn. This ain't my RSC. I didn't write this RSC.
You see it, and it looks.
This ain't my inciting incident.
And it sees you.
That's awesome. Awesome.
And the wolf drops. Hits the ground with a yelp.
I step
in. Was up in a tree?
Yeah. About 20 feet up. Probably the size of 4 men.
4 men.
I step into the circle in the clearing, right? And I yell at it, "Come, foul beast!" Hoping to lure it into the.
You're like, nope.
That's a luck check right there. You think?
Well, I think Brother Dunstan has lost his mind.
It saw us.
Prestige.
Right? So I'm just
going
forward. Yeah.
Could be, yeah, because this thing isn't a social creature, so I would say luck.
Yes.
And too many other limbs are not hanging on the tree. And this mouth opens, this incredibly wide mouth opens. And it just seems obscene for any creature that looks like this to have a voice.
Oh, shit.
But you hear it say, man.
Yes, man, foul beast. Come face me. And I brandish the club, the stick, menacingly.
I think he's doing that. I'm staying hidden to try to make his sacrifice for the good of the village worth it.
And so the creature just at this point swings from one tree, grabs another, and then catapults itself off of this other tree towards Brother Dunstan. We should probably make a combat roll. This thing is just
nice,
flying through the air.
Now you don't want that critical fail right now.
So I'm going to try and avoid it. Is what I'm going to do, basically.
This is what you do, right?
Yeah, that's great. Describe it.
I guess it's a combat roll. I'm guessing the stick is a poor stick, so it's at -1, right?
The body.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Is it roll luck?
Nice. I like it.
It's gonna be that.
Oh, shit.
Not good.
What is
It's
my
a
critical?
It's a poor stick. It's a poor stick. You had a chance.
Oh, so that was just
Excellent
to see the stick. That was awesome.
Yeah.
So again,
But you
naive
can see it.
narrator. Let's find out what kind of stick it
It's a
is.
simple fail.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
not
just-
critical.
And it's a large.
Just for
it's a-
reference, my plan is as soon as it hits the ground, I'm gonna try and rush it from behind to.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, there's no real initiative, so it's like kind of like you have initiative when you say you do. I'm just to be transparent. This it's going to be a 10. That's the difficulty value of this creature.
Nice.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm taking a wound unless its attack value is. You have to look at the monster stat attack value and if the attack damage, and that
Right.
tells you how many wounds can result from a PC failed wall, and you
That's
have
correct.
the option of using either the first number for simple fail, or you can use the second number because it's the first time somebody fails. So you can use either of those numbers, but you need to tell me: is it one wound? Is it two wounds? Is it some sort of special effect where
It's one wound.
it's one wound? Okay.
I'm being magnanimous, unless you critically fail.
Yeah, so that would be critical, right? I was going to say, so
Whoa.
a critical failure would be the second thing, yeah.
So you must now roll a combat roll because that was just your luck roll to see how good your stick was.
Oh, that was wait. Hang on.
That was your luck roll to see because that would have affected your combat roll. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so
now you roll
you're not
two
wounded
and-
from the
and
luck
do
check,
negative
right?
one, because it's a poor stick.
That was a luck roll to see how good your stick was, right?
Yeah, that was a luck roll to see how good your
But
stick
I
was.
get injured because of the.
No.
No.
Oh,
I
okay.
just want to see how good your stick was.
No.
You have an
Okay.
excellent stick.
That's
You know, one hell of a piece of wood that could have really done some
-1.
damage.
Now we see.
Seven.
Okay,
Okay.
so it's 6.
You fail.
7.
And now I take
Because
it.
he needed a 10 or more
Lamb's like into
against
you,
this creature.
knocking you, and I need you to make me another luck roll.
Oh, nice.
Hang on. Another luck roll. Okay.
Yeah.
That is a 10.
Nice.
Out of the circle.
Whoa.
Nice. So he's been knocked out of his own ward. That's
It's a lot of
sweet.
rolling, but yeah.
Oh,
And I'm
sweet.
fatigued because
Yes.
I failed, or
Fatigued.
Yeah,
Do I
you've
take
taken the
damage
first-
or
yeah,
just
yeah,
a-
you've taken
or just
the first
an
wound,
effect?
Yeah. No, just
Got
your first wound.
Got
So
it.
you are now fatigued, I believe, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
It's narrative.
I grasp for breath, and as soon as
Check
I get
for
my
wounds.
bearings, I'm going to start
My
moving
hurt?
toward the circle.
My hurt?
See if I can close it.
I'm too distracted. I'm gonna start hacking at this thing.
I thought you did close the circle.
Well, I rolled the die earlier. I don't know if it
Right.
worked, right? So,
Right. It just did.
oh, okay.
So this creature is trying to get at you, and is stopping at the edge of the circle, and
Nice.
it's enraged.
How long will this ward last? The rest of its life,
Alright.
hopefully.
So as it's climbing
You
the
just-
circle, maybe I'll get a
There'll be
bonus.
tourists that stop by and leave a gold coin to look at the thing in the, like a zoo, the Fey Zoo, right?
All right. I rolled a total of 6 plus 4, 10.
Nice, that's a
You
hit.
just made it.
All right, so it takes a wound.
Okay, so you stabbed it from behind, and the creature howls
Uh-oh.
more in anger than in pain. You can tell it's like, once again, the creature is absolutely enraged.
Oh,
And-
Wolfhard.
Derek, are you doing anything? Help me out here, man.
Oh,
You
yeah,
can say no.
I'm praying.
I think the character right now would still be stuck in prayer for at least
What would
another
you-
round.
What would you
Bless-
be praying
Bless
for?
the knight's sword, priest.
There you go.
I'm praying over my cross, my iron cross,
Mm.
All right, that's so good.
and praying for God to bless me with the strength to wield His cross. It is intended to be used
How big is this cross?
to protect others.
Okay. And so, what kind of effect are you looking for?
To protect.
What's
nice?
I mean, it's more of a preparatory. I mean, if I could give it a little more oomph,
yeah, it's just,
if it were to
it's
hit.
pretty free form here, man.
Yeah,
Are we sanctuary chanting? What are we doing? The dreaded sanctuary chant. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, just a prayer to strengthen the impact of God's will upon this unholy beast. Going for the game version of maybe an extra impact on.
So you would either lower the DV of the creature as he
Wolford or anyone
give a bonus to
Wolford's
attacks.
No,
I would lower the DV. It's easy.
Wolford.
Just lower the DV 1 or 2.
Brother Justin is clearly lost presently.
Roll the DV.
The easiest thing for the presenter is just DV up or down.
Yeah.
I mean, he has to succeed at this prayer.
And that's with my spirit, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's correct.
Yeah, 5.
5. Okay.
No.
Maybe it's your proximity to backslidden sorcerers. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's just not. I'm just thinking about it. I'm praying.
Maybe it's because you're
proximity
so
to the witch, the druid.
But anyhow, in the meantime, this thing has been stabbed in the back. It is absolutely enraged and just swings back on Wolford with a couple of its arms.
Oh no!
Which means you roll again.
Yep.
Oh,
you do all the rolling.
Add your combat score.
Hurt. It could be you.
I got an 11 on
there
the
you go.
So
nice.
Combat check is 15.
He just said
more than 10. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
what it
More
means.
than 10. Okay, so once again, you're able to inflict a wound on this creature.
Yeah, I was going to say,
as
there
it's
you go.
trying to
So you
rend
should
you.
wound him for that.
Its claws bang off my shield and I stab murderous.
There you go.
under it.
They got it.
There you go.
Absolutely
There you go.
furious.
Awesome.
Enraged.
No.
You don't want to forget
I hope you're praying
that
for
roll can hurt you or help you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just whenever you engage, the roll to find out
Yep.
the outcome. Yeah, Ivan just said it there.
Alrighty.
I
see.
start to sing
Oh,
at the beast
nice.
because music can probably
Lull it to
confuse the Fae. And so I start singing and pouring my will into the song in an effort to distract the beast and make it
And this, if he succeeds
less
at this,
potent
it would
against
definitely lower that DV
Wolfherd's attack.
to 9 or 8.
Okay, to be consistent
Yeah, less
with how you've been
potent.
playing this character, we need you to sing because you said all the magic stuff. so
Oh, I love it.
no singing, no sing, no roll.
I'm trying to remember a song in Spanish that will fit this occasion. I'm trying to think of a song. Well, it's a monk, so it's probably Gregorian chant, right? Which I'm not
he's a
even gonna
monk.
try
All this time I was
and-
thinking he was a
and do,
witch.
but
Yeah.
it's probably what he sings. I don't know.
That's awesome. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry, man. Go ahead. So
You got to start.
Make with the dice.
Volare.
Oh, he's got a
With the
song. Now. He's got a
Oh.
song. Now.
I know one song in Spanish that doesn't fit like at all.
Go ahead.
But,
Doesn't matter. You haven't said anything
Volare.
before. That big Latin Spanish. And
no, I'm not going to do it. Let's go.
don't throw me
man.
Argentina.
Oh, shit.
Oddly enough, Llorona pops into my head.
All right.
Let's see.
So I got a 3. Oh, jeez.
Okay, so you failed.
Oh,
It makes it
All right.
matter.
I'm telling you.
That's because you didn't want to sing.
Right, that's it. Yeah. If I had sung, I'd want to get a bonus modifier. Right.
So you're trying to sing.
Well, he's singing the whole freaking ward's gonna drop.
Sing the soothing.
Poor Wolford. He's gonna turn all that ire on Wolford.
And the creature just like his head like does a complete like does a Linda Blair, just like turns at you while it's engaged with Wolf.
Yeah, spewing peace.
And just like yells, it's incredibly loud. Cease and ragged! And like your eardrums are imploding, and you're like pushed back, and you take more damage from this. You are now wait a minute, what do we call this? You're battered.
I get 2 wounds. Yep. Right?
What's one wound?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's your second one. You're battered now.
So you're battered.
Yeah,
so, I mean, literally, you're pushed back, and you're practically bleed from the.
Okay.
Well, he could. It's up to, or it can be an effect.
Pushes back.
It could be an effect, unless he has an effect.
Back at you. Yeah. He's absolutely enraged that you would even dare.
It makes sense because he's projecting through this bubble that it.
Oh yeah, I know.
So, but 2 wounds is within the rules.
2. Yeah.
On a critical fail, 2 conditions. Yeah, it could definitely be 2 conditions. Yeah.
And there's no turns. Anybody that says something before,
which would put him at injured. Meaning he's like be bleeding from his ears, right?
Of course, but
yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say, I think this is the time that Jarek is done praying and is going to come running out with his axe.
Okay, so you're running into the circle. All right, excellent.
Running, well, yes, sure, because the circle is protected. Yes.
Well,
you can't leave the circle, but if you're up close to it,
as far as you know.
Right? Oh,
but it makes
leave the circle.
But it makes Men of God's hair fall out, so he'll be bald tomorrow. All his hair will be.
According to the black magician that you're traveling with.
Right, but it would be easy for me to see that either something is confined to a circle, or is confined to a point, or is confined away from a point.
You know, Brother Dunstan drew some crap on the ground.
We saw it couldn't get at him when he got to the line. Yeah. But I went through and started smacking him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it only confines the creature,
so
right?
So I will go opposite of Brother Wolford, and as much as one
cut an arm off.
One can get to this.
Kill it. It's got creature. 4 arms. Cut one off.
And try and swing at it with my axe.
Okay, cool. Wolford,
kill it.
You spoke
kill
first, though.
It. What?
Yeah.
Okay, that is a 6 total.
6 total.
Yes.
Okay, grand. This time the thing picks you up.
Oh.
And it doesn't manage to actually rip you apart.
Oh, they lived through this.
But I don't need I can cancel my chiropractor appointment for tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. And it's just shaking around. So it actually has you, which really, not really, mechanically doesn't mean anything, but it's got you shaking and rattling around.
Right?
Yeah, you're fatigued. And okay, Jarek.
Okay.
Make that combat roll.
12.
Oh!
Natural 12.
That's
11
2
with the poor axe, but. Net 11.
Yeah,
no, but natural 12
is a crit. Yep, it's a crit.
Hit. Yeah.
Boom.
Causes 2 wounds.
Nice.
2 wounds. All right, so this thing is
they're gonna argue that
so
point.
Concentrated on Wolford that you just managed to strike it one hell of a blow to the back of the head.
Oh, nice.
And you hear now just absolute howls of pain rather than just rage.
Nice. So it's feeling it now. Starting to feel it. Nice.
And
nice.
The thing drops.
See, that's why he took a moment to compose himself and finish his prayers, because then he whacked it on the back of the head.
Towards Dunstan the other way. And
so we've had 2 crits and 2 fails.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's the D12.
No, I know.
Yeah,
I know that's the D12. Proof positive.
I'll smack it as soon as I can, man. I can't let up on this thing.
Combat is comic book-esque, right? Think of a panel. That 12 is a big hit. That 1 is a big, It's got that comic book.
Make one of us roll. So whatever.
Highs and lows.
Yeah. No. All right, Brother Dunstan, I need you to roll
luck.
What you're rolling for is that there's no part of the outcropping that is close enough that they can leap to it and effectively get out of the circle.
Okay.
Sweet.
And let's see, we're going to call this...
It's trying to escape.
We're going to call it moderate. We're going to call it 7.
7, okay. I got a +1.
Cool.
Oh, nice. It ain't going nowhere. They got it right where they want it.
This creature's looking at it like an olive, and it's enraged.
Awesome. Wolford needs to now cut it from groin to chin.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I will raise my hand to be in line to continue to hack.
And that's another natural 12.
Nice!
No way.
That's nice.
Instant karma from getting smacked.
That's 8.6.
All right. So
I mean,
maybe
you guys had
get a
9
red-
at the convention. You had 9 crits, right?
the creature was looking for the escape.
Yeah.
Right.
It was dynamic.
But you're able
narratively
to
dynamic.
get this thing right through what might be its foul heart. And the cold iron
Put my
bites
sword
deep into
silent,
its...
slide it between its ribs as it's banging against the thing.
Nice.
And the screams of like 1,000 curses emanate from the body of this creature.
Two of
finally
its hands
slumps
go to its
around.
ribs, while the other two are
And-
flailing, right?
Is already starting to turn like black and tarry.
Oh,
It starts to smoke.
nice. Nice.
I crossed myself.
Yeah, at this point, no kidding.
I think we should keep going to church, Brother Dunstan. You see what he did to it?
Dunstan is bleeding from his ears right now. He's laughing. He's like...
That's awesome.
So, and the thing is kind of dissolving.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
They're not going to believe us, are they, Father?
That's funny. I had said Eloy would be bleeding from his ears from that yell,
We found
and sure
this
enough,
thing and
Eloy
killed
thought
it.
the same way. Isn't that some shit?
We have the word of a priest in
That's
our
amazing.
favor. Maybe
Shows
we'll
you we
take
do
that
share.
as proof.
Players are sharing a certain visual idea.
Let's wait until the dawn.
I mean, I'm not even in the
Make
game,
sure
and I was
this
thinking he's
thing is
bleeding from the ears from
completely
that
gone
yell.
by the light of day.
Gentlemen, the church does not promote the incitement of extravagant ideas, not because we do not
Heretical
know
rumors.
they do not exist.
Father, are you telling me that I'm going to have to drag a couple of these dead wolves back and say they did it?
That's
Is
genius.
that what you're telling me?
Brother Wilfred, you are a very intelligent.
I love that they're expressing new characters and have
God
each.
damn it.
The creature dissolves.
They get
during
more
the night.
time to do that. You know.
Yeah.
You're able to grab, reluctantly.
Well,
a
and
couple
again,
of the wolves,
it's player agency. It means
the
something.
dead wolves,
Yeah.
that are just battered already, and just maybe make some stab wounds in them to
Mercy
make it
kill.
look better. Bring these things back. Make a travois. To bring these things back.
Yes!
Back to Dredgewater.
That's what we're going to name our next
When you come
game.
back, the town is in an uproar. And as you get closer and closer, you realize that there's a great disturbance. That people are like really freaked out, and Jim the Miller is just all in a state because the bread, the flour that they were supposed to be able to use to make bread, has weevils in it.
Oh, shit.
There's weevils in the flour,
Yeah.
and much of the flour has been ruined. Which is actually,
And I can
really
imagine
what
Wolford is covered in black
Which made me very
ooze
happy.
and blood.
happened. And we can close the curtain.
We have
Nice.
some wolf meat here.
Awesome.
We took care of the greater evil. Now we have to deal with the lesser weevil.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Wow.
Nice. Nice.
I'm sorry, people.
So smooth.
Ah,
How about that for the debut
I had
of Dark Age of Man, not
that was,
from
that was,
us? That's
that
awesome.
was interesting. That was fun. Every once in a while,
It was action packed. I like how the combat flows, right? No nonsense.
Yeah.
Depends
well,
on us doing our job narrating.
Combat.
So actually, just to reveal it now,
Like a comic book image.
the basic idea was that there's a creature, killing stuff, and so like the sheriff's going to hire you to look at whatever it is, go find the wolf. And the minor dilemma was just that fingers would start to get pointed. People would start to, start to get at each other's throats. Because I had no idea how long it's going to take you guys to figure this out.
Right.
And so I had a random chart. So at the very beginning, I rolled a random thing, and then the direction was pretty much like when one gets resolved, or like if you can't do something with one right now, you can kind of like
pocket it.
It still happened, but when you I'm paraphrasing. When you feel it starting to flag a little bit, it's like, okay, let me see what else is going on. So my chart was on a 3, and like we talked about this before, but like the chance of rolling a 3 on the 3, is 0.5%.
Yep.
A 4 is a 4 is less than 1.5. I think a 5 is like 3. Et cetera, et cetera. And like 10 or 12 is like 12.5. Yeah, it's a
it's a
bell
curve, right?
Yeah, your basic 3d6. But your chances of actually rolling these things. So the ones in the middle are very likely.
Yep.
Whereas the ones on that were more likely. So number 3 was Fey Barrier's rupture.
Oh,
somebody let this thing out.
Oh my God! So there's somebody out there that freed this.
Actually,
thing.
one of the townsfolk actually, let it out. So Fey Barrier's rupture, meaning all hell breaks loose. Like, oh my God!
So he rolled a
4
3?
was Vampire Awakens. I'm like, what am I gonna do with that? But I heard okay. 5 was Wolves, which I actually rolled.
Nice.
While you guys are waiting for this thing, so okay, what am I gonna do with Wolves? 6 was Lightning Strikes the Church of the One.
Jared would not have liked that.
7 was Thatcher Child Missing, Stolen by the Fae.
Nice.
Becky Thatcher. 8 was a riot on Lord Washburn. It makes sense. That's getting more probable.
Yeah.
That like do something, Lord Washburn. 9 is Father Falcone Savaged, which actually happened.
Yes.
While you're there, talking to these people, that's at the farmstead. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Okay. And you may or may not have found that out, depending on where you guys went.
Yep.
Or you're heading towards town. Like, okay, that's a good time to put that in.
Perfect.
10 is the widow is abducted. The widow that people think did it. 11 is bandit strike.
Nice.
So these are really, possible things.
Yeah.
12, Cole Palmer dead. And he was the fellow that's pointing fingers at everybody.
Nice.
13 was William Stevens discovers the lair.
Nice.
Yeah.
So he tied
14 was
his RSCs to the. So he tied all the RSCs almost directly to these inciting
15
incident.
is the one I rolled to start it off. Slaughtered cattle.
Yeah.
Nice.
Interesting.
16 was Childers Homestead burns.
Nice.
It could have started out with just somebody's house burn. 17 was Mort attacks.
There you go. That would have been war.
Maybe
a midnight raid.
Yeah.
The older man who is contesting the territory with Lord Washburn.
Yep.
Right. And 18 was Northman land.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
But very, the things on the ends are very, very, very unlikely that they could happen.
Yep.
Like actually, wolves was chance of getting wolves in this whole thing was like less than 3%.
Yep.
So they're wolves.
Yep.
And I figured, because you don't know what's going to happen with these things. I figured wolves might be a red herring.
Yeah, that's why 3 and 18 are world changers. Events that change the world.
Okay.
That was pretty cool.
Running from the creature.
Cool because it's a different,
So
it's an unexpected twist on that.
Yeah. And Eloy nailed the magic.
It
in
was
this too.
a bit tough to figure. Well, no, not tough, but like there are moments like, okay,
great.
when do I have them roll, and like what kind of difficulty do I set for stuff? A lot of stuff was
Right. The most difficult part in any kind of game, I think, that you're inexperienced with is calibrating the challenge.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because there's words there like easy, fair, average, and technically I guess that's fine, but you sort of had to figure it out by yourself, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, this helped. I mean, doing the little any dice chart thing with the well, how often are you going to roll a 7 or greater?
Right.
Or a 7 or less. So how frequent? So like if I give you a 7, well, that's 50% chance.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, I mean, a lot of things I said, okay, it's 50-50.
Yep.
50-50 that this creature's going to be able to find, purchase.
That's right.
Based on your
and
luck.
if you have a +2 attribute or a +1, it's giving you that 60%.
This is precisely why I like games that have some sort of bestiary, because it gives you benchmarks, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so a goblin is this bad, and a wolf is that bad, and a troll is that bad, and so you kind of have some idea of where to go, right? And a normal human bandit is this.
4.
Yeah, this
4
creature was it's not the bestiary, but I
So a bandit should be easy to dismiss and kill in one shot.
It's a bog hag / swamp beast.
Yeah.
Awesome.
DV10, health 6.
Yeah.
Attack damage is 1 and or drown, and so we're not in the bog because if it's a critical fail is 3 wounds.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I figured if you critical fail this thing is going to give you 3 wounds, because of through Fey magic.
Yeah. Smack you with one arm, smack you with another, and crush you with
nobody critically failed, which is good.
I did. I did a critical fail, which is what at one point I told you, it's 2 wounds, and you said no, it's 1, and I'm like, I critically failed. It should be 2, but if it's 3, then I would have been a dying. Yeah.
Yeah, but you I don't think it was a critical fail. You failed to.
You failed on the luck check to see if your weapon was 4.
I didn't roll a 1?
No, you rolled like a 3 or something.
No, you rolled a 2.
No,
okay.
He rolled a 1, but it wasn't a combat roll.
Oh, okay.
It was for the luck check on his weapon.
It's like, well, how do we handle magic? Like, if you fail, because I mean, you need to roll a 10 to affect the creature.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Interestingly, which was one of those things you can't like really figure out beforehand. Is like you made like a magic circle,
and it was good.
And
I think I rolled like an 11. Yeah, it was 11 total or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, well, no kidding. I guess the creature will be trapped.
No, 7 plus 3, 10. Yes, exactly on the dot. So it does affect.
Lucky number 7.
Yeah,
but I didn't feel like I should tell you yet what the difficulty value of the creature was, because that's one of those things we're gonna have to wait, and see when it shows up, if it gets in there. And then I'm not sure what I would have done if you had failed that. I think it might have just knew that you tried to trap it and might have
avoided it. Yeah.
Yeah, may avoided it, or maybe sought you out, and maybe you would have had to be engaged in combat with it at a with some disadvantage.
So you go with that narrative, whatever feels right to explain the failure.
But it would have been like, oh yeah, I know it was you, but that didn't happen.
I know what you tried to do with me, little.
Step in the circle. The defense flares, and it sort of breaks it, right? And so there's like psychic backlash, or something. You could have done that as well, if you had wanted it.
Well, I mean, it already called him out, man. You can imagine.
Everybody's given their own interpretation of it,
and that's what we want the rules to be: open for engagement, right?
It wasn't trying to affect.
We don't want to define what happens. We want the group that's playing to define what happens.
Cause God's wrath upon, or whatever you want to express it, because it's free form.
That's it. Improvisational. Perfect.
You would have taken a wound, but somehow.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't. You tried to. All I could think of is Sanctuary chant. Back to good old first edition D&D. Protect myself and not just chant.
I'm surprised.
It's before your time, Jared. Don't worry about it.
The initiative worked out well.
1979.
I was surprised. I think part of it is the different professions.
Yep, initiative.
Because had we all been fighters, I think we would have naturally devolved into, well, I went and Jose went. Let's wait for Jim. If we had all been fighters, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it would have been like, it's like, I just attacked. Let me wait for Jim, right? Or let me wait for Jose. But because I was playing the spellcaster, and I was getting beaten around, and it's like, I can't just say, well, you fall back. Well, I get back up. And it does. It's like, no, come on. It takes a minute.
Well, I mean, like, if you got into actual combat with that creature.
Yeah, just like,
you would have had a 16.67 chance of hurting it rather than being hurt. Which is to say, you had like an 83% chance, of being hurt every single round if you were involved in combat with it.
But
whether
that's
it attacked you or you attacked it.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm playing the wizard.
Yeah.
Right. So
But
right.
my combat
Exactly.
roll is my magic roll, right?
Right.
I could have lobbed like fireballs at it or something.
Right.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Right. 100%.
Yeah, but I mean, based on your combat.
And the
ability.
DV of the
Jarek,
creature
on the
can
other
be
hand, would be
reduced
+1.
based
So
on
would've-
the stress it's
hang
under.
on. In that would have been like combat with a dagger, right? I think the game is meant to be spiritual combat or mind combat or different types of
I
combat.
meant had you been foolish enough.
Oh, okay.
It was like, I'll help you. Yeah. You got yourself out of the circle, you're done. I'm staying on this side. And then Jarek, on the other hand, like, he's, +1 the east. Like, I think it's like you got what, a 2 in 6 chance. You got a 1/3, 1/3 of the time Jarek's going to hurt it. 2/3 of the time it's going to hurt him.
Yep. Dangerous.
Based on the difficulty of this particular creature. And in the
Don't
meantime,
ever tell me the odds.
Yeah. But in the meantime, like,
well, like the dragon
Rider,
in the game is
Wolfhelm.
very hard.
Wolford, Wolf.
Wolfram Alpha.
Which is oddly enough is my brother's name. Is Wolf. So that means you would Jose would only have to roll a 6 all the time because he got a +4 based on his body and everything else it is. So that means 58.33% of the time.
Yep.
But
he's a warrior.
Time you win. 40% of the time.
So the warrior with an excellent weapon or a magical weapon with good body should do some damage.
But like and the thing is, I think it's 6 health. So it's
we got 2 crits on it, which was really lucky.
Right. Yeah, that definitely helped a lot.
Yes.
Too.
Sped it up a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, again,
But I think it was interesting. Again, I had to think of how to attack it because I didn't want to just go, fireball, right? So I tried to make it a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
And so there's the minute that you're trying to do that versus Jose says, I attack.
Yeah.
And it makes perfect sense, right?
Yeah.
He just swings a sword while the other guy is trying to cast a spell. So it sort of simulates it in an interesting way, right?
And meanwhile, if Jose succeeds, he narrates how it's damaged. If Jose fails, Ivan narrates what it does to him while he's casting.
Right.
Which I thought was cool. Same with Jim, right? He's like, he could have said it from the outset, I do this immediately, right? But then it's like, no, this feels like it takes a minute.
Play your character genuine.
Yeah.
To get the prayer
the situation.
and the thing and the...
Yeah, and that's part of that in-character aspect.
It's interesting. It's
You're immersed
with the
in the situation and you're going to do what genuine.
Well, that's part of that in-character as
and I'm not
character,
gonna
right?
let character
I'm thinking
treat
what my character's doing while Jose's acting,
Just getting
right?
up and spinning like that was quick. I definitely
considering
had
10, 15 minutes before the game, you're like, I think I'll make a priest, guys. Okay, maybe it was a couple hours. But I got the other guy's character. It's like a while ago. Like I think. You made
I
this a
had
couple
been
days
thinking
ago.
about it. I just didn't bring it up to the group.
I'm just
I was
messing with
just
you,
putting it on paper. But yes, you're not entirely wrong because like some of the stuff I had not put the thought into. Obviously, the whole background of the priest.
But that's kind of the thing working as intended. That's the idea that you pick up a sheet and you put down 3 numbers and let's rock, right? So
Yep.
So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and the repute score can be used if you want to bond to each other.
I definitely made my random chart make sense. Like some of the ones presented in the books are a little bit more all over the place, which is cool too. But I still did not know what was going to happen by any means. But I wanted to pick things that I would wouldn't be too hard to figure out. Like this gave me more.
I love random tables.
Yeah,
me too. This gave me.
I really do.
And this is another thing, right? If you make a bunch of these, right, and share them around, right? If you get a couple of dungeon master or a couple of presenters, and everybody makes like a sheet, and you just save it, right, and pass it around, and
totally different every time.
Again, it increases the low prep factor because it's like 5 minutes before a game. It's like, all right, and you just pull out a sheet and roll a couple of things and kick it off.
Yep.
You
Guilty.
don't even have to do the chart
That's
if you gather enough of these sheets, right?
That's exactly right.
This is not, this one I did is not as cool as the one that Tim Harper put in the book, Samurai 7. That's a pretty cool one. I almost used that one, but I'm like, I had this in my head, so I'm like, let me use this. But he has a really cool one. But everything here, like I think the really weird ones, like Northman Land or Mort Attacks or the Fey Barriers go wonky, Vampire, all those things combined maybe had like a less than a 5% chance of happening.
Yeah.
Here, I'll put those, but like most of the other stuff was based on like people pointing the fingers at each other.
Right.
Right.
If the mundane, they should be more mundane as their everyday occurrences.
Which she did. She was the one that summoned it. Guy Cole Palmer was the guy that's like absolutely after. So him being found dead is like one of those things. Like, well, what happened?
So here's the question I can't pose to him, but repute. Did they earn repute?
That was like things that things that the creature might have done.
Right. That would be the question I would have for him.
Mm-hmm. And there's some things that it probably didn't do, but people were just could have added to that paranoia.
Right. Yeah.
Or be misdirecting, like lightning strikes the Church of the One. Well, what's that about?
Right. Is that
or if the children's homestead burns.
That's about Brother Dunstan's Devil stuff.
I think the children's homestead burns was like supposed to be like another thing. Well, it's not going to happen very often, but it's red herring.
Right.
Like in my head, it's like, well, the creature didn't do that. But
right.
Although I suppose I could have, you're supposed to have them be very open-ended too. So I suppose I could have had it.
Yeah.
That, but
yeah, it was great.
It seemed pretty obvious, like when I should roll again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only thing that didn't happen sequentially was I rolled wheels in the flower.
You get a feel for it,
and I'm like, I can't do anything else right now. We'll definitely have to,
Weevils in the flower. And I think that's actually on his chart. Is that what he said?
Okay, well,
that's a
So
trip.
I'm gonna have this thing show up back in the circle, like with a barrel of flour. Weevils. Like that. No, that's not even very interesting. I'm like,
I don't think it would have done anything with flour. So
exactly. It didn't make any sense. I'm like, I'm going to leave that back.
You just
if you
drop
guys
it
make it back, there'll be a much bigger problem.
Jason is asking if we earned repute.
Did you earn repute? Well, let's talk about this. Did you earn repute? Well, that's kind of interesting because you earn repute. You definitely are able to say you've killed the creature.
Right.
Brother Dunstan, man, almost gets caught.
Right, I'm probably washed. Right, probably +1 -1 is probably a 0. Right.
Yeah, let's double check here. I think repute is I think it's just 1 point, but let me just double check.
Yeah, I believe it's 1.
It should be because it's what increases your stats, right?
Yeah,
so you don't want to,
and you can spend it immediately.
You don't want to go super crazy with that.
Right. Because I'm guessing.
Sing it.
I'm inclined to say that everybody except Brother Dunstan earns repute because he's gonna do serious damage control for pretty much like
That's fine.
trying to talk to the moon in front of the priest.
Right. But then so he gets a claim for having killed the thing, but at the same time the priest is.
But dude, that was awesome. I mean,
that's against him, so
that is 100% how we envision people using magic. Though,
I did
just like
neglect to ask to have you guys explain how your characters have earned the current 3 repute. So,
I know why. I was ready.
Yeah. Oh, really? Why was that?
Yeah. Basically, Wolford. Again, he's from Northridge, and the king of Northridge is a major a-hole, right? So his father was one of the men at arms, and he grew up there. And there was a Dane invasion, and Wolford got to fight in the shield wall. Right? Mm-hmm. He was
shield wall.
It was his first battle in a shield wall, and he survived, and that's where he got his sword from one of the dead Danes.
Right.
However, again, the King Osber, I think, is an a-hole, and he taxes the heck out of everything.
Right.
And that's why he left in disgust, because they most of their spoils were taken from them.
Right. That's awesome.
You're doing your duty to North.
Awesome. And see, that's why that repute at the beginning, it sets the tone of the world and what your characters been through.
through this.
And allows for time.
So then we begin to understand Wilfred's headspace before he even introduces his character, right? Which is cool.
Interesting. I don't even remember that part about repute, but then again, I sort of...
It's near the very beginning. It's like one thing, just like before the start of the players should,
okay.
Because we're supposed, I think we're supposed to kind of come in not knowing a hell of a lot about each other. Period.
Oh, explain. There you go, right there. Oh,
Right.
I missed that. That's right. Well,
yeah, no, I missed that as well.
In my case, mine 3. He is a scholar, right? So he was probably just a bright guy. It also kind of explains it's his connection to magic. So as I said, he has transcribed and maybe illuminated texts, right, that are forbidden. Awesome. One of his items, I put a book of forbidden lore, right? And
nice.
So I think that's how he learned the magic, right? And so spirit at -1 is his loss of faith.
Yes, that's what I thought. I was thinking there ain't no way he's playing a psychopath, so it must be like totally
his
lack
monastery,
of faith.
right, and killed everybody else, and he's having a crisis of faith because why?
That's awesome.
Why would God let this happen, right?
Right.
And so that's the origin. Combined with the magic, then he just
see when a spirit of -1, I thought he was a druid,
magic,
right?
And that's why spirit is at -1.
That's awesome.
And luck. I guess he is lucky, right? He wasn't at the Abbey when it got destroyed. So.
Right,
that's perfect. Burned at the stake.
Yeah. And he hasn't been burned at the stake. That's another one. Yeah.
Speaking of lucky, how about Jared Smith? How did Jared claim the repute that he had prior to this adventure?
So prior to this, Spirit obviously through the teachings of the church and all that.
Awesome.
The luck is how he ended up with the church. Being that his original intent in life, his original purpose was to be a blacksmith, as is the family name.
Smith, right.
But his
wonder if he made his own cross.
Right. Hammered out his own crucifix. Did he not? Yes.
And
that's why it's iron.
Wrong strike.
Everybody else just carves it out of wood.
Hot iron into their homestead.
Nice.
And burned their house down.
And hence the name.
That's awesome.
In an effort to, impress his father.
Oh my!
Did it while everyone was asleep.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. That's perfect. Like making breakfast for Dad before he gets up in the morning.
The only place he could turn was the church.
Awesome.
And within the church, his studies.
Cool.
Attribute to his other mind, or his his mind, and then the I guess I've got because I've got the 4 positives, but because I've got that 1 negative.
Well, yeah.
Just in manual labor and all that.
All right. So for this session, you've earned repute, Jarek Smith, because of your connection with God as you helped mend the pain, and your ministrations to Father Falcone.
Nice.
Witnessed by this young lady, and of course, Wolf, bringing back the
ill repute,
the wolves that terrorize this village.
Yeah.
And Brother Dunstan,
it could lower his prestige,
even though you did some great things and helped and you were involved with this. But the thing is, I'm going to say that point of repute that you would have gotten is being used to prevent you from being burnt at the stake.
Oh. Yeah.
Yes. That's always,
perfect.
That's always good.
Right.
Yeah.
So he has repute 4, but can't really use it.
Critically fail, in front of just anybody.
In front of the
critically
Falcone.
fail in front of the frickin' priest.
The Viscount, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
What are you doing, man? He's talking to the moon's black magic.
Vicar.
That's
It reminds me of of the episode of Friends. It's the vicar. You know what a vicar is, right, Joey? Yeah, he's like a goalie, right?
A goalie. I love it.
Exactly.
Dude, and I love the tree moment.
Right in front of the priest.
Where he uses magic to talk to
the
the tree.
That's no honest
That was awesome.
Yeah, I love the conceptualizations.
It was awesome.
All right, guys. Well,
the Latin.
The tree.
The Spanish. That was great.
That's so funny, man.
Yeah.
That's what
really
Jose just said.
The speak with plant spell was awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing. I just said that, and then Jose said it. It's like, they can't hear us,
but
improvised
magic. Right?
I love it. That was so perfect. Yep.
Yeah, it was interesting. Like just about everything you did was all like kind of like divination type stuff, or you know.
Yep. In D&D 5e, they would use cantrips, pre-designed little cantrips to be magical.
It was really cool.
But you can only do so much with them. In this, whatever you envision, your power, it works.
It went well because it's like talking to the spirits of the wood and this and that. It goes well with the setting.
Yep.
With the kind of fey magic that the setting kind of like calls for.
Yep.
And that's why it took me like about a week to come up with a character, right? Because I was like, how do I approach this, right? What kind of magic does he have? Because the lack of rules.
Yep.
The magic is best approached with some guidance. It doesn't have to be much, but a little bit of guidance to sort of tie it together, right?
Right.
I kept insisting on, do you find any hair? Do you find any claws? Because I wanted to track the beast.
Right.
I wanted to cast a tracking spell, but I'm like, I probably need like nail clippings, right? Or fur, or
but see, this is what Del and I have believed from day one. Players will put the limitations based on what they're doing at the table.
This creature, I figured it's so magical.
I mean, Eloy, responsible players that are playing with their friends in a serious game will make sense of what they do.
It's going to take the trees, too, and so it's going to be something that's
it just doesn't feel right
out of your wheelhouse in terms of like tracking.
And so no one is going to do something stupid. And if they do,
apes or anything else that does that,
the presenter just sets that DV really high. If he says, I'm going to fly to the moon, I'm going to set that DV at 16.
At a certain point, I figured, it's going to be luck if he keeps this trail or if he finds it again.
Right.
So I was surprised by how many luck rolls we ended up doing here. But sometimes it was just like, it seemed like the most appropriate thing. And I felt so bad, man, Jarek, tried to, I think a couple of times he tried to do some kind of influence roll or whatever, prestige roll. And it's not like you have a bad score.
No.
But I figured sometimes I just had to set actually the difficulty for the farmer initially to talk to his wife again was not high. He just didn't like it.
Yeah.
And then the second time, it was kind of tough. It's like, dude, your friend just talked to the moon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's dice, right? That's why dice, because you can't. That's why I said be naive.
A couple of those words.
Trust the dice, and then you got to roll with it.
But it's interesting too in this setting too. It's kind of like it's early Christianity plus a whole bunch of other pagan belief systems. But I just figured I talked to Eli beforehand when he was talking about making a wizard. It's like, okay, but black magic magic is just going to be seen by everybody as like, what the heck is that? And
witchcraft.
Your chance of getting burned at the stake or whatever are going to be pretty high. Mm-hmm. Because if it's the Christians are going to burn you at the stake, and if it's the people that believe in the Fae, it's like, you've got truck with goblins. And
exactly.
The weevils and the flowers, your fault.
Exactly. Which is why we also leave the setting vague enough that you can make it your own. Right. There's enough there.
So I'm glad you played a wizard.
They can make this their Dark Ages.
That's a lot of fun.
I agree.
Good job.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
All right, man. Well, that's pretty much it.
I had a good time.
That was awesome, guys. Outstanding. Outstanding.
And thank you, Jason and Del, for providing us with this game to try out. That was pretty cool.
Yes,
I'm pretty sure I killed Von Mort.
Yeah, you did. Yes.
Recorded reaction.
Yeah, you did. Tell him he did kill Von Mort. No, I did.
It was different at that time. This is years ago. I think the video's still on my channel. There's a video called Von Mort Must Die.
Right.
And Jason runs him. We killed him.
Yeah.
Which I think became like,
yeah. It was awesome.
Budamont Mort or whatever his name is now. We killed him.
Yeah.
But I think we were like, at that point, we'd killed him and we're trying to escape from his place because like at this point all the guards are like, he's dead. We're like, oh crap.
Yeah.
But
it's awesome.
So I killed that bastard. Just want to let you know. All right. And yeah, it seems like
feather in his cap.
Like it seems like this game is really suited for like episodic
play
because it's like it's
chronicle
not like it can be a campaign as such, but like
yeah,
I could see it being an episodic campaign where you do improve, your character improves, but there's no need to have some underlying storyline.
Right, because I mean, the very next thing is going to be another
one episode to the next.
Yep, it's more like chronicle campaigning.
Another one I'm in. I loved it. I had a blast.
Yeah. And I'll see if I come up with
pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'd be actually interested to see how the villagers are like interact with you guys now, especially Brother Dustin. But yeah, so but like that's the thing. It's like you have to come up with like another
Brother Dustin.
situation.
Yeah, I don't think Father Falcone's going to be breaking bread with Dunstan
a little bit
in the
like
building, right?
what do you call it? Yeah, it's like Kung Fu or Star, the old, the original series Star Trek or something like
right.
that.
Exactly.
I've been rereading Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser, and I was telling Jose, and I just love that the short story format is what seems to be the key here.
Yeah.
Because I've read the Conan novels and the Fafhrd and Grey Mouser novels, and those are good, but the short stories are fire. They're awesome.
Yeah.
So there's
short,
something to
one-page
be
prep.
Play.
Be naive as a presenter. Invite these amazing characters to go into the world.
I think I might
let the players
do something a little bit more human.
You tie it up at the end, and then the next session can be 6 months away, 6 months down the road, doing something else. Right.
Which seems kind of interesting.
It's awesome. Well, you guys nailed it.
I mean, I was hoping the bandits would show up, and so you guys could,
Well, it was a good fight, and I liked it.
Yeah.
It's good.
Well, we appreciate it. That's for sure.
Of course.
We appreciate it.
What are you talking about, man? Of course.
All right, guys.
He said I was hoping the bandits show up, but you never know.
We will talk to you guys later.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys.
That was awesome.
Broadcast.
Yeah. Appreciate you.
All right, Dale. We're still recording here, Dale, so don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
What'd you think, man? What'd you think?
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
I loved, like a lot of things that came out, like you said, when he said bleeding in the ears.
Yeah.
The fact is, when everybody's there, whether we're participating or just watching it, everybody can kind of see it, then the narrative moves fast enough. And it is traded enough to where it makes it easy for that community mind's eye.
Right.
To where everybody can kind of be on the same page.
Right.
And, I mean, they really, I could see it at a time. I love the way Aloy was interpreting the magic.
Yeah.
And with his own structure.
Yep.
For the concept of his character. And that's what we always talk about. You playing your character genuinely and not breaking that. Otherwise, you feel like you're cheating. Hold on.
Right.
You're cheating the play. You're cheating the table. So everybody, that honesty was embedded there. And even the minute thing of when he said that, like Eloy was like, I couldn't just get up that fast. Or when I was thinking about how I was going to deal with it.
That's because
Jose's
you're
over there whacking.
character. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
you're actually processing the entire scene, and therefore you wouldn't just jump right to your feet, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah, but he was talking about it. It worked like really well with like how you would conceive of casting something and the duration and the way it folded in with like Jose. If he went twice before you was able to do what you had to do,
right?
That in other words, while you're a player. Immersed in play, considering what to do because you've got to come up with something creative to bind this creature, to give them that extra chance. It's going to take you longer to do that, other than just say, "I'm attacking him this way, or I'm doing this."
Right.
So if you want that other depth, but it's still like naturally lends itself into how things would proceed.
Yes.
Without narrative,
right. And there's another reason why I don't care when guys go and how often guys go, because if they fail a roll, they're taking. So Jose could go bang bang,
oh yeah,
but he could also get damage, So
exactly.
players they're gonna be like a real warrior, right? I'm diving in, I attack, and oh man, I get a critical fail, I take 2 wounds. I'm gonna step back for a second, and maybe hopefully the creature picks somebody else for a second, right? So, right, I mean, we want you feeling the tension of a couple of criticals, and you're I mean, again, like comic book panels. This isn't D&D where we're gonna go round and round and round for hours in a battle where you're not gonna hit point bubble down, right? The dragon's got a lot of value, but the dragon's also really difficult to affect. So that's a world changer if your characters are in a battle with a dragon. And even the swamp creature, very dangerous, and we make that clear. So we define that math difficulty, so to speak. What I love is, again, we don't say this in the book point blank, but the reality is if people use their magic to try to really alter the world, there is nobody. The GM can set that DV to make that an epic success, right? I mean, I could put that at 14. You're gonna have to roll a crit plus have a mind of 2+ to hit that, right? If they want to do some kind of world changing event. The other thing we don't define, but the GM is free to define. They put him in a bubble where it couldn't get to Eloy. So when Eloy would do something that would affect the creature, if he failed, that damage could be put upon Jose's character, right? So his failure doesn't have to actually come back on him because the creature can't get to him. But the creature then would turn that wrath and actually wound Jose, right? So that makes them think twice about, okay, I've made this strategic bubble. This works. It confines the creature. But Jose,
you're accountable to your party members.
And he's got to be accountable to say, "Holy shit! I'm in here. I'm in this bubble with it. I need to get out of this bubble for a second, catch my breath." He could have always left the bubble and had some safety, right? So again, we don't define hard and fast rules. We define a space with guidelines that allow a group to be the group they are, right? And I've always said, make the character you want to be. If you say what you are, that's what you are, right? If you say what you do, that's what you do. We have a very simple checks and balances math system. A DV score can be up, raised, lowered. So even them stressing, like when he hit the creature and had Eloy successfully saying at the creature and disrupted it, that would have been a DV drop on the creature, making it easier for Jose and him to hit, right? You just drop that DV to 9 or DV to 8 as it's stressed, right? But he failed that roll, which I thought Ivan did beautifully, turning the creature's wrath and screaming at him and, wounding him, causing a fatigued or battered situation. Was perfect. And I saw that as blood coming from the ears, and then later Eloy made that joke that his, blood's coming from his ears and he's laughing. I'm like, oh my God. So we were literally seeing the same image, and I'm not even in the game with him, So it shows you how we do share a narrative space, and they don't even know we're there. I mean, they didn't even know we were watching the game, right? So there is this space that's shared, especially when you're playing with a group that you play a lot with, culture of play. So, I mean, we defined what we wanted to define, and then we purposely left it where you could make the game your own, you can make the world your own, you can make a sense of the simple math, how you use the DVs, etc. And I thought they handled it. Let's face it, they had never done our game before. They really haven't been involved in our conversations. Ivan play tested 3 years ago with us. And I thought they played it exactly how I envision consumers or strangers all over the world, or who will buy our book, go home, sit down with their friends. They're going to get.
That's what I'm pleased at, because a lot of it we build it to be intuitive. In a way. See, the thing is, when he tried to sing that song, and then Ivan turned around because it was crit fail, and he interpreted what it did. He didn't reference the book. Okay, let's see what happens.
He didn't have to say what happens when you fail the sing spell. This happens right now.
But he was immersed on a level of where he had to come up creatively with a response to that. It's
on the fly. Yep.
Back and forth, and like when they said
conversation.
He said the creature jumps toward Jose's character. Yep. It was like, okay, is the creature rope? No. This is locking horns. This is engagement. There's going to be something that happens here. Roll and let's find out what happens. Yep. And he happened to stick the creature. So then Jose picks up the narrative. And it swings back and forth, just like you're saying. And it's conversation. It should be, so if I narrate kind of what my character's doing, and I go to great detail on how I'm attacking, everybody at the table is going to
maybe be paying attention to that detail. And the presenter definitely will be if I fill that role. Whatever I fed him in my narrative description of how I'm attacking, he can literally take that and respond in kind with how the creature, bats my sword swing away, and then with his third hand, bashes me in the head, right, causing me a battered wound, right?
Yeah, that thing about you talking about the everybody at the table seeing things progress when the narrative is rolling like it does, and it's a clearer picture for everybody.
Yep.
Then it's not going to be like a question. Everything that's stated is going to be more legit, and that's why there's no contesting. Like, why would he do that? Why would he? You have like with Ivan responding in kind because everybody can see what's going on right in front of them, and what Ivan's stating that the creature's doing is the most logical, rational response to their call. It's a back and forth, and that's what the beauty of it is in the narrative. The conversation that you're having.
Yep.
So, and you want to represent. Ivan wants to represent the world as legitimately and as genuine in response to the characters, and they want to represent their own personal characters and their character development.
Yeah.
Like even on the end part when they said, "How did you get your repute?"
Yeah. Yeah.
This lets everybody know a little bit about the character, and defines them a little bit more, gives a little bit more sympathy at least.
Right. Exactly. And the other thing that's great about giving them that moment to do that is it also brings more to the world. So when Jose describes his relationship with the Northern King, we now know a little bit more about the Northern King. We now get that matters. What he says matters, right? That story now gives us all world building. So part of our agency when we said, hey, you are what you say you are, repute means something when you, right? The reality is that's world building. Jose's doing a little world building there with that story, right? And Eloy is doing a little world building with some of that. He may be all just personal and he doesn't really go outside of that. But if he tied it to, where he learned his magic, right, that would become something that's instantly part of the world, right? That, in London, there's this school. I went to the school. I learned magic. Okay, we know that there's,
remember when David said
world building
Lady
there.
Washburn hates me?
Yeah.
It's to say, she does? Okay,
yeah, it's cool. Perfect. And I'm going in naive. I know what the setting says, and I know we're in Dredgewater. I already know my inciting. I know that little bit I wrote down on the sheet. But now I'm going to find out a little bit about you guys. And then now, once we're playing, everything's building together. And then the next episode or chronicle, we've also built play history, not just repute history. We've built playtime history, right? So, it's they did it brilliantly, and I thought they would. I mean, they're obviously they're sophisticated gamers. They've been playing for years. They've played a ton of different games. This was not going to, you can't. And as we've talked about this before, goal one was to make a game people couldn't break. Right? You can't break our game, so go for it. You just can't break it. You may not like it. You may not quite feel comfortable with it, but you can't break it. There's no way to break it. So.
Ivan said whenever he made the more targeted random seed based.
Yeah, I love it.
What the major, that's great. And he factored in the amount of probability.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And made it cogent with the difficulties.
Yep.
So I mean, we need to. I mean, it'd be great to get some of his if he made some seeds.
Oh God, yeah.
We've already started collecting those. Put those out. Share them with people because every time, like I said, every time you don't know what's going to happen. Which seed's going to be rolled?
Yep.
Like he said, he thought about playing Tim's that time. I did at the house here.
Yeah.
And I could tell you what happened there and what rolled, but somebody else is going to sit down with that same thing and come up with a totally different situation.
Well, especially depending on where the characters, what breadcrumb or what direction the characters start the game or want to go. So, like very often in my locals, I would literally say to the players, "This is where we're at. This is what time of day it is. Where are you at?" And Brian immediately said, "Oh, I'm chained up in the basement of Von Mort. I'm doing his records for him." And I went, "What, dude? You just literally put yourself in bondage in the basement of Von Mort's." Oh, okay, we'll go with that. And she placed herself as the ward of Washburn in the keep with the ward as the child. And I think this is amazing. And of course,
Phillip, it's a dance. Let the players lead.
Yeah, and Philip placed himself as a teenage house guard that had kind of sorry for her because she was the redheaded stepchild, so to speak, and so he befriended her. And they, it was amazing. And it's like, so that same RSC that if I use Tim's, how it starts, it becomes contextually totally different, even though, because just how they start the game, that RSC chart becomes contextually presented in a completely different way, right? Even though the inciting incident is still
presented
true.
Too, what happens with the situations.
Yeah.
Interpretively.
Yeah. Yep.
What does this mean? Yep. Like I rolled almond, and I knew what almond meant for me for the situation that I just set down.
Right.
Whenever that was rolled, and I said, "Oh, geez," because I had that everybody was waiting in line to pay the taxes or whatever. Right. It was on that one,
right.
And I had just by chance Jordan had walked by an old couple, and they had said something when he passed. Anyway, and the lady became stricken and fall down, and all of a sudden, while everybody's standing in line to pay their taxes, I'd rolled almond.
Yeah.
Almond. And she falls down and she's got this white glazed over look in her eye and she's looking up, reaching at something.
Right.
And then the wind blows down from the hill crest and all these birds and black crows just lift up out of the trees that looked like it's bloomed.
Yeah.
But they just raise up and then go down that, and then that pale wind of death just washes over or blows past everybody, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like her hair and everything. They're like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And she's seeing something right before she dies.
Yeah, she's having it's perfect.
So that's how I interpreted it. And then it went from there. They had to follow cruise on that. But I didn't know. That was in the moment.
Yeah.
When you just roll that word and I go, what does this mean?
Yeah. Well, and is it relevant to where we're at right now, or do I hold on to this in case something makes it more relevant?
You don't know. So you don't even know if they're going to follow it. It's just something that's happening.
Right. And like this tonight, I said, well, it sounds like the inciting incident is the wolves. I guess he may have rolled that. I can't remember now what he said. But the way they pursued it, that could have been the only RSC he rolled. He could have just let them chase that to its end, right? Depending on how engaged the players are, right? How engaged they are in what's happening. But I think he continued to roll seeds, which was as he felt necessary, which is the whole point, right?
No, but it was perfect because they were waiting to ambush, and all of a sudden these wolves run through. They're running from something like a pack of them, and then some wolves are being thrown.
Yeah, the wolves didn't have to attack them. They were actually spooked by the creature. It made total sense, right?
Yeah.
The wolves became a narrative thing that he can use to introduce the creature to the scene. Or he could have had the wolves surround him and attack him, or he could have whatever, right? Or he could have saved the wolves to the trip home, and they were harassing, campers off the beaten path, right? So that's the point. What are wolves? How are we going to use? I rolled wolves. Oh, how am I going to use wolf pack? I'm going to use wolf pack as a narrative tool to present this creature that's just scared the shit out of these wolves, and he's waylaid them and. Right, I don't have to use the wolf pack as an actual wolf pack against the players, right? So that's the point. It's going to spark where you're going with the thing, right? Hopefully, right? And and again, I loved how they use luck. So I think Ivan alluded to they maybe use luck too much. No, I mean I've had sessions where they use luck a lot, depending on how what the players' actions were, and how often the players were kind of saying things that would be luck. This is a lucky thing, right? So I thought he used luck perfectly tonight too. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, really, intuitively, Ivan, and I knew Ivan would because I've played with Ivan and I've known Ivan as an old school DM, so I knew that none of this would be outside of his wheelhouse of how to interpret the data and present the data to the players. I mean, you can tell old school DMs they can do this. Yeah. Right, old school D20 guys would be able to do this easily, right? I can't say that necessarily for modern gamers who are accustomed to following, the rules. Really following that. We're here tonight to do the thing, so you guys can get your 250 XP and right the 5th edition kind of adventure night thing, right?
Oh yeah, well,
where everything's defined, right?
In being a GM, so I mean, whenever it hits and he rolls that, it's like when you mentioned with the wolves. Now he rolled that and he goes, how do I weave this in.
Yeah.
And so he used it in that manner.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, it was perfect, but it gave him, I just love presenting, and when those things drop in your lap,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you go, how do I tie
I mean,
this
he could have narrated. They heard the wolves in the distance, and they could have gone to investigate and found the wolves fighting the creature. Literally, a pack of wolves trying to bring down the creature. Right?
But when they ran through there,
Yeah.
didn't stop to even take notice.
Yeah.
Was just trying to leave something. Is that an indicator that why are we sitting here when these pack of wolves are running away?
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's
And one of them's being thrown.
Yeah, I mean,
and you're still going to sit there.
And that's the beautiful thing about the GM's going to bring their flavor to the narrative, to the fiction.
Oh, yeah.
And the players have the agency to bring their narrative, their character, their vision of the world to the fiction. And it doesn't, they are not at cross ends. They are parallel. They will run parallel. They will work together. There is no reason to see the players' descriptions or narration or idea of something as cross ends. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. That doesn't mean you won't have an asshole at your table that tries to wreck every game. I've had guys at my table, no matter what I was doing, that was at cross ends trying to wreck it for people. That's deliberate. That's a different thing.
You know, even when I ran that convention game, there were people leaning into it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I started with the repeat thing, and they jumped on it without any kind of question.
Yeah.
And it was almost like it just pulled them in.
Well, it's liberation. I mean, think about it.
And they felt responsible and for that.
And it's liberating when you say, and those were pre-mades. I mean, they weren't. They didn't make their characters; those were pre-mades, and they got into that. So that's
one of them was just like I fished a boy that had fallen off the dock into the river, dredge out, and I was, and then the other one said this and that. And they were right on it. It's kind of surprised me.
And that's how liberating it is versus D&D. I mean, you don't get that opportunity in D&D to not only share kind of and then share around the table so you all kind of bond with those three reputes to some degree. You don't have to be, but like David saying, oh yeah, and what you said, she doesn't like me. And it kind of worked, it tied them together. But even if it didn't tie them together as friends, it tied them together to the greater scenario, right? And
it's trust is what's exhibited. And you have trust across the table to trust the players to not, to stay within the bounds of their responsibility of play for their character and the presenter. And it's a shared narrative dance.
Yeah.
I mean, and they did it. If you're used to it, you just don't need so much procedures to keep you in line.
Right.
A lot of it, I feel like, that's where we was playing before. It's like, just take the training wheels off because I know I'm not going to go outside, or I don't need somebody telling me what happens up to a certain point. And it said, Dale, which button do you want to press? You got three choices here. It's like a choose your own adventure book.
Yeah.
I mean, in some extreme cases of different types of games, and I just, to me, and the simple one roll to find out the outcome of who takes over the narrative of what happens, and the trust that you really lend to the fellow players and your presenter that's representing the world to stay with it, because everybody's vested and invested.
That's right.
In that moment, and they're able to do that because it's so free flowing. And like Jose said, it's action packed. It is.
Yeah.
The stuff just rolls. What do you do?
Yeah. And it's again one reason why the comic book panels were so paramount, right?
Yeah.
Because that's how the D12, I say this is John and I swing my sword, we roll the dice. Whether he wounds me or I wound him, that's dictated in the next panel or that panel. And then he narrates how he, comes at me and, grabs a chair and flings it at me at the same time he's swinging his axe. Yeah. And we roll the dice to see, where we go from there. And it's that simple. And it doesn't really matter who goes. I could literally play the vampire in a battle with four of you, and I never have to actually attack anybody. As you guys attack, that's going to dictate my attack if you fail.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter who goes first. Now, it only matters who's rolling the dice, because that's going to be an effect against you if you ultimately fail. right? But tonight was a great example where Jose could have been the one to take the punishment of Eloy's failed rolls.
Well, look at the convention. I say when the guy failed miserably whenever he had sent the one warrior went forward and buffeted the two Danes side on the horse, and he was turning to the right, and then the archer let loose.
Yeah,
it was trying to hit that.
You turned the wrong way.
And he said, "Why'd you break right?" Because he shot him in the thigh. You know what I mean? Right. So injure him, and it was like
it's perfect.
They need to be working together. And it's just situational changes, or either like you said, if it's 2 wounds or whatever the situation is. But
and they didn't use any prestige for henchmen or assistants, which it's kind of an advanced thing that we do. I think every one of us have had. I've used a couple of characters that have my prestige will be a henchman or a bodyguard so. I'm pretty comfortable with having that.
Well, Sylvester had the 2 dogs too, but I mean, you I think to start it's kind of easier just to wrap your head around stuff.
Exactly.
Like they did.
Yeah.
Playing one character.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, and we did too when we started playtesting. Our focus was first on playtesting and being characters like you would in D&D, and then it's like, oh yeah, right. My prestige could give me 2 soldiers or give me 2 buddies. Like Uhtred and Finn and the other guy. He's always got those 2 buddies.
Yeah, but Uhtred. I mean, in that case, you have to, like, with them working with, like, it's no initiative. You're going to feel it for the guys that you have with you.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean? As far as that.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
You say, no, he's getting up. And it's so, like, to me, I can play somebody. Like, they willingly took 2 of them willingly took negative 1s.
Oh, who else took a negative 1?
Jim.
Oh, did he? On what?
Yeah, and I can't remember. He said it.
On luck? Was it luck?
I think it was luck.
Yeah, that can be dangerous. I'm telling you, Brian did negative 1 luck, because you never know. There's so much that can occur where luck is the only option that you have. So
yeah, if your other attributes aren't,
don't suit it, right? Or just how you narrate. If I narrate something that's using my mind, then I can avoid luck. Right. Yeah. I mean, if Brian had said he popped out of the swamp and he looked immediately to the sky, where's the sun, and calibrated it, right? I would have either given him a really low DV on luck, or I would have said, well, let's make a mind check to see if you can find your directions.
Yeah.
But it was he just pops up and says, I want to head back, and I'm like, okay, well, do you know where you're at, right? And so how you present your character and how you describe his actions at looking where the sun's at, or where the night sky is, that's telling me that your character's got some awareness. So you still might need a luck score, but I might lower that DV for you, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's my point. It's completely flexible and conversational, right?
Yeah, but like Eloy's character, as far as using magic, whenever he illuminated and got the nat 12. Had plenty of moonlight and also illuminated the path, you know what I mean, off the bleached bones or whatever to where he was going to.
Yeah.
So they didn't have to track him in the night like traditionally.
Right.
It was just kind of shown to him.
Yeah.
So, it
was so well done. So well done.
Yeah, and even in their discussions afterwards, it was that wouldn't make sense. You can see the telltale of their dialogue back and forth at the end was just they were automatically defaulting to stuff that made sense.
Right.
They didn't have to have rules saying, no, you can't do this. You can't do
and I do
to
think
determine what makes sense.
And I think players and GMs they're scared of themselves. They're scared of their own. They're scared that there might not be enough restrictions on themselves, and I think they're. It's just natural when you've spent 40 years playing games that literally define what a failure looks like, defines how you cast a spell and what a spell can do and what the limitations of that spell are, right? You can imagine taking all those guardrails away from somebody, saying, listen, you're going to ride without training wheels. Trust me, you'll be fine. And until they go without those training wheels and they realize, oh, yeah, I can do this. Oh, yeah, and then they're riding bikes for the rest of their life. They never forget. And so I can see why people wouldn't trust even themselves. Would I be tempted to cheat? You can't really cheat. The numbers are there. It's DVs, and you're going to roll a D12 that's going to hit a number 8.3% of the time, right? You can look at the math, but the reality is any number can come up 8.3% of the time. In 100 rolls, we're going to see 12, 8.3% of the time. We're going to see 1, 8.3% of the time. But in the span of a 2-hour session where we only ask for 10 rolls, you might see 4 critical successes. It's just the luck of the dice. The dice are completely balanced, right?
How long? Yeah, and you're right.
I've talked about the dice. We can talk about probabilities, but until you've experienced lots of dice rolls with that D12, you don't get. And I literally understand the probability. We understand that that's a linear die. There's no curve. It's an 8.3% chance any one number will come up. Yada yada yada. We know that, right? But until I had experienced 400 and some odd games of grid zone football and experienced the D12 in action, it changed. My experience of that particular football game, which uses the linear D12, and the results that came out of that D12, the numbers of times it would roll a 12 or a 1, right? Which again, in some games came up more than it should have, but usually over the course of 500 games, you're going to get 8.3% of any number coming up randomly. But the point I'm making is, it was that excitement, that 8.3 happened enough that it made it very exciting. And I would say a swingy might be the word to use, right? It creates kind of a swingy narrative, right? But it works.
Well, I mean, that is all for the better, because those critical parts changes situations, and that's what you play for.
Yep.
Is either your back's up against the wall, or you just had some tremendous success and you want to capitalize on it.
Correct.
But you wait for those moments. That's why.
Well, and we wanted it to happen enough in a game in which it's fairly dangerous or fairly, right? Because we play moment to moment. It's live. So I don't really want a lot of big math, and I don't want a lot of machinations to decide simple things, right? So again, just the number, the 12 pips, is perfect for the speed and pace of Dark Age of Man, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm from the 80s, you know, that everything had to be quantified and everything had to be. It was almost like the way to do, or just the de facto default of how you build a game was to try to quantify everything mathematically, right? Mm-hmm. So you can do that, but at a certain point, you look back and you go, how many steps away from actually just fun am I?
Yeah.
You know, from something that I could do intuitively without having to weigh and measure everything.
Right.
So when you back up, because if you look at remember that Perils and whatever game you had from the 80s?
God.
It was probably
it's like it is literally it's unbelievable, dude. It's algebra. Every fucking formula is an algebra formula. It's like fucking shit.
That's what I'm saying. But look, whenever you could have one instance in 3 hours.
Yeah.
Now when they started playing here, when we saw them come online, was it 2 hours?
An hour? No, they played an hour and 20 minutes.
That's what I'm saying. How much did they get done in an hour and 20 minutes comparatively to other things?
Great. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. When you stop for that week and you got to play a game,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, listen, and when we say, "Hey, dude,"
cover a lot of ground,
right? And when I say, "Hey, we got only an hour and a half here tonight, guys. Let's go." You know, like the Sword and Wizardry game that I ran for you guys a month or so ago. We didn't get much done in that hour and a half, 2 hours, right?
No,
but boy, Dark Age of Man, it can the ebb and flow, like a comic book. Like I keep saying it, but there's a reason the comic book needed to be done, and that it was because again, I already did the math. I knew the math. We know the math.
Yeah.
Again, we got all that figured out, worked out, but it's a feel of what that's going to create once you start rolling dice. Once a guy starts telling you what I'm doing, like a comic book character, imagine you're drawing what your character's doing.
Yeah, don't focus on the rolls. Focus on the narrative and what's happening, what's transpiring right in front of you. You just need that dice to tell you, oh, crap.
With the RSC coming up, here you guys are tracking a beast. The RSC comes up, and it turns out it's a witch on the road, and they end up embracing the witch, and they end up in a situation that they don't really get a chance to track the beast because they ran into a witch, and now they're embroiled in a problem with a witch. You know, it's this pacing, ebb and flow, context, and it works. It just works. And I would agree with Jim. or all of them, I think. But Jim was right. It does really feel episodic or a chronicle, great for chronicle episodic.
Oh yeah.
And the campaigns are a string of episodes, right? You can play campaign. But yeah, there's never this, because you're naive as a GM, there should be no grand story. Okay, in 7 sessions, they're gonna see the great evil, what's his name, Lestrade, or whatever the name of the damn in Ravenloft, the Dracula character, Strahd.
Yeah,
they're gonna see the workings of Strahd, and they're gonna find the castle, and then they're gonna deal with Strahd, and whatever. There's not this arc of what they're gonna do in that to succeed at that campaign, right?
Yeah,
nothing like that. It's a world that exists, and they're gonna encounter the things. And of course, there is relevance because there's an inciting incident, major minor dilemma that they should be affected by, therefore they have to deal with it. And that's all we need to make sure the players are relevant to the game sessions, right? But I don't disagree with that. They one sheet prep, hour and a half. They are like 1 hour. They're like hour and a half movies, and yeah, you can string 5 or 6 together, and you've got Star Wars 1 through 6, right? Right?
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah. I know. It was awesome to see them pick up into it to exhibit their characters, to play their characters in a way that it was genuine to the concept of the characters.
Yeah,
that was great to see. It was great to see Ivan's descriptions and him connecting dots and just saying this and that because he didn't know. And even after that, I still love to hear him talk about like how it felt whenever. Yeah. Because, I mean, we all have to, it's GM and anything, you always have to, times fly by the seat of your pants.
Yeah.
But this requires you to do it at a pace that is somewhat frenetic.
Yeah. Well, and I was thrilled to see, that he was naive enough, but informed. Context, even his RSC was informed by the rest of his material. That's perfect to make sense of everything. But he stayed naive when it came to Eloy tearing off the branch, picking up a branch club. He stayed naive on that all the way to the point of, hey, we should decide whether this club is a poor club or not. Make a luck check. See what kind of club you got here, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing we worry about with traditional, or our traditional GM role. Can we stay naive? Can we be naive? Like I said, I think I said it in the video watching it. I would love to know how he decided whether the creature was in the lair or not in the lair. I would love to know how he decided that, right? And you don't have to decide it particularly, but once he rolled wolves, he knew he would introduce the character. He would introduce the creature with the wolves. Once he rolled that RSC of wolves, that cued him to say, "I know. I'll use the wolves to put the creature in front of him." Beautiful.
But that to me showed the danger, the impending danger of what this creature was.
Bingo.
And gave a foreshadowing of that. Oh,
and it should have tightened their assholes just a little bit when he described that.
Yeah, exactly.
All their assholes should have tightened up. Their ass sphincters should have tightened up a little bit.
Like 98.
Right. But see, that's beautiful. That's what you want.
Yeah, he's really good at describing creatures. And of course, we witnessed it.
Yep.
He always was when I play with him, and I'd say, geez.
Yeah.
So it fed into his representation and his abilities as a GM to say, okay, this is what they see. These wolves are tearing through here, and then you look up, and they're like looking up at this tree.
Yep. Well, then you and I, we set out to do this trusting 2 things that we believe, right? One, players know how to do this thing. They know how to be in character, and they know how to take agency. They know how they want to play. So let them, trust them. And,
respect their intelligence.
And we know that everybody who's ever GM'd a game before knows how to do this thing. They just, what I mean by that is, that we're not asking them to do something GMs can't do. All of these guys that run games can do this. It's, can they let go a little bit of the control? Can they let go a little bit of the knowing? Can they let go a little bit of wanting to say, oh, I got a cool idea for tonight. They're going to encounter a werewolf in a barn. I got this great idea for a barn fight. Oh, fuck, dude. We're not here for what you think is a good idea and great fun, right? We're here to share. So don't pre-decide that my character is going to end this session in the library talking to the nurse because you really want him to meet the nurse. You got a great thing going on there. I don't know where my character is going to be at the end of the session, right? You sure as hell shouldn't know where my character is going to be. And you and I agreed on those things when we play tested, when we had these ideas. We know players can do this naturally. It's natural. It's intuitive. We know GMs can clearly handle the rules in the game. It's simple. It's all we're asking them is to let go of the reins a little bit, and which is why we put that in the book. And so I knew. In that sense, we're not asking GMs to do something they can't do or have never done before. Complete horse shit. Of course they can. They do it all the time.
Yeah.
They do it all the time. Yeah. So in that sense, I think that's it's going to be evident to people who try it, and evident to people who.
It's predicated on being naive enough to where you're getting fed information.
Yeah.
Through die rolls and having to.
And
to me, it's like weaving a tapestry.
Yeah.
When you get this information, you go, oh, or like these Tetris blocks are falling, and you're putting them in place and building something. And you go, oh, this makes sense. But to me, that's excellent.
Yeah.
Like when you have those moments, and you go, like when he thought probably wolves. Oh crap! This thing is throwing wolves, and they're scattering, they're running everywhere.
Right.
And you hear them howling.
It just you could just see it came to him. It's like, oh, I know how I'm going to use these wolves. Yeah, and because it's live, and because he's feeling that creative moment,
juices, flowing.
He's gonna present it with that little bit more of a flavor.
He's not
of an edge.
Trying to go like I need to expend my energies in trying to steer them to a point where I get to show them that these wolves are doing this with this beast.
Right.
You know, who cares? They're just walking through the wolves, and I roll this crap. Oh crap, it's going down. That's like he said. I would have liked for y'all to meet these bandits, but he didn't put them in there. He just
and bandits are easy. I mean, they would have waylaid the bandits.
How do you factor them in? You know, because they want to look at the the mob.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which that is fun because that's what it did.
Well, that's what I love about the RSC. When I make up an RSC, I'm like, dude, that would be cool. Oh, I can't wonder what that's going to be like. I can't not look at these vague references and not already before session go, I don't know how that's going to come up or if it'll ever come up, but dude, when it does, that's going to be fun to see because all it says on it is old woman. Well, I don't, now, when I'm thinking old woman in my head right now, ain't my, in 2 hours when Sam is limping through the swamp with a sword and he's wounded and his buddy's dead and he's trying to get back to Dredgewater, right? And I roll old woman. Wow, that's a completely different old woman context, right?
Oh, I know. If you play and you roll that, if they're in the swamps, like you said, trudging along, and I roll old woman, you see this stuff in the community mind's eye, right? You see her just start materializing out in this form. What does she look like?
Yep.
What kind of old woman would be
what
here?
What the hell is she doing there? Right.
All the circumstances. And then you just start introducing her, and she is developed live in play right in front of them with you responding in kind there. It's like, it's great.
And it is improvisational. That is where it is very improvisational. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly. But when they were talking about, like Ivan said, he referenced back to something. He goes, during play, he was like, no, how do I handle this? But he was filling that toolbox.
Yeah.
Because it's interpretive of how you want to apply.
Yeah.
The mechanics in what is more appropriate to apply, and then he pulls something out and he plug and play.
Yep.
And you keep playing.
Yep.
And then the other time he said, I didn't know what I would do if you filled that roll.
Yeah.
And then Eloy was like, do this. And he was like, or I could have did this.
Mm-hmm.
And if that is when you are engaged.
Well, and that's when you realize, and that's when you realize there is no right or wrong answer. There's no right or wrong narrative. There is only what I say matters. And everybody should yes but it. And then a die roll will determine whether it's circumstance, situation, or other effect happens, right? It's very simple. The only thing that really doesn't work for Dark Age of Man, so we ask you to be naive GM, that doesn't mean don't say anything. You still have to provide, you still have to start pushing that, you still have to start pushing that boulder down the hill to get it rolling. So you got to be naive, but that doesn't mean you don't say anything as a presenter, that you don't provide anything. And the other thing that won't work are wallflowers. Players that wait for you to do everything and then go and wait for the GM to say, now, what would you like to do in this situation? Gentlemen, I've told you the door's locked. What would you like to do, Bill? That ain't going to work, right? Wallflower players are going to struggle, right? And hopefully they're liberated by how the game starts with the conversation about your character and repute, how you earned your 3 repute, and how the GM kind of presents the stage. Players hopefully will step into that, literally step in, you put your toe into the cold water, but at some point you got to jump, right? And those are the so a presenter being naive can't be silent, cannot be a mute presenter, and players have to engage fully, right? And again, I think most want to. I think most naturally want to. Yeah.
They need to be accountable for representing their character in the moment.
Yep. And these guys nailed it. And they played as well as we've ever played. Our game, I mean, obviously. They played great. Yeah. But, I mean, they really nailed it tonight. And they got, I don't know when they got the PDFs or when they started studying the rules, but there's not much there other than setting. The rules are pretty simple. So it would be just familiarizing themselves with wanting to make a character that you like to play and then understanding the basic mechanics of how the rules function. The presenter has a little more study to do, as they've got to make the one-page prep and they got to write an RSC. So the presenter might have a little more work, but that's typical. GMs always have a little more work, but not much. If characters get one sheet to make a character, well, our game also says you get one sheet to make your session. So we actually have a session sheet or a character sheet for the GM. It's just your character sheet happens to be the session, and the players get to make their characters on one sheet. And so we really are kind of getting more equality between the prep of the presenter and the prep of the players. So it's not all GM prep and, oh my God, all this work.
Oh, yeah, it's shared.
Yep. In 10 minutes, you should be able to run our game. Yep. Yeah, you got a notebook, paper, and a pencil, and you can do math. You can do 3. You can write down 3, 4, 5, 6, 3 to 18, and you can think of some interesting dangers or whatever. You're going to be ready to go in 10 minutes. Yeah. So, amazing. It's great. And I think they nailed, and it was intuitive watching them. They handled, when he called up mind, when he used luck. I mean, everything was so intuitive. Yeah. Eloy approaching the tree and not saying, okay, I'm about to do some magic here. I place my hand on the tree and I begin to talk to. It's like, oh, this is it, right? This is it. Now, I don't know. I would love to know how in character, if they were in character as character, how comfortable they were, or if they were thinking more third person about those things, or if they were just in character. I got the feeling they were all pretty much in the headspace of the character.
Yeah, I get the feeling that, especially, I mean, Eloy, when he was speaking in, Spanish?
Yeah.
For
Latin,
the spell.
Spanish, Latin. I think some of it was Latin, but I was talking over it, so I think he had some Latin down there, but they're doctors, so Latin's like their second language, right?
Yeah. No, that's cool. That's cool though. That's cool. That representation and whatever. There's definitely. I don't think anybody would get to that length.
I did Latin for my magic user in Mark Kernau's Dragon Warriors game. I did Latin for all my spells.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah. I did limericks for all my spells.
So on the back of my character sheet, for every spell I had Latin phrases that I used in our Dragon Warriors game with me, you, David, Mark ran it. Yeah.
With Mark, that was a good game.
So I actually had to look up all the Latin words to make sense of how I cast those spells. Yeah. It was fun. But again, I like doing that shit. Yeah. But it might have been all Spanish. I was talking a little bit over it, so I wasn't certain, exactly what he was saying. But
it was great. I just meant that I enjoyed that.
It was great.
That level of improvisation and representation of character.
And
you know what I mean?
It should feel simple, relaxed, conversational. Whether they're in character or not, it should be a very comfortable play space, and they appeared to be completely. It did not seem like it was their first session ever of Dark Age of Man.
No.
And that's great. That's great. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, the game. We'd hope the game would be intuitive enough to just graft easily into your style.
Yep.
Or speak to you on a level to where you could just.
Yeah.
just fall into it.
Yeah.
And no, I think there was enough surprises on the rolls to where there was enough still engagement for rolling,
right.
And happiness whenever it hit a 12 or like, oh my God, when it hit a 1.
Yep.
So on that level, it was, they were immersed and engaged too.
Oh yeah.
But
critical successes will always be easier than critical failures, right? The curveball comes at you like, oh, critical failure. How am I going to use this? Right? But you get used to that. The more you play games that have that comic panel moment, critical success, comic panel, bam, or critical failure, comic panel, bam, you get used to thinking about those moments.
But it's a narrative game. So I mean, they're critical to have, no pun intended. Yep. To add more.
Yeah. And again, it doesn't always have to be 2 wounds. It can be effect, knocked down, disarmed,
sundered shield, or and
or it can be a situational change. The ward that you've cast. As you start to sing, you fumbled that so badly. You can see, the power of his ward bubble gave a little bit. Maybe it's faltered and it's gone now, and nobody knows it because it's invisible.
Cracked. He could have said anything.
Yes,
what I mean. And he screamed and sitting back, and he hit.
Yeah,
hit it
and it works perfectly. Right. It doesn't even always have to be damage. It could have been. It could have been presented in a situational, circumstantial way. Right. Yeah. So, but anyway, I think that also comes, the more you play it, the more you'll realize, oh, this is really smooth, and you're going to want to go with a narrative, whatever makes the most kind of narrative sense, which Ivan did, right? As he described the Linda Blair head spin and screech, right? It was perfect. Right?
I know. It was for an hour and 20 minutes worth of gameplay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think,
They nailed it. Yeah, it was outstanding. So, all right, brother, you look tired, my friend. It's way late for you, brother. I know. So I appreciate you staying up and watching it with me and sharing this chat. Get some rest, man.
Will do, man.
All right, brother.
Yeah, great game, man.
Thank you, man.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right.